uh, the top five animes.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that seemed like something
Yeah.
good because like I didn't want us to necessarily do what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Yeah, so to me this is something that would be different where somebody might look it up or whatever, like, oh, I don't really hear too many individuals talking about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're live right now. So
All right, yep.
yeah, they changed this whole thing up.
I guess I should tell them who I am. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, I'm Terrance from the Tremaine Terrance channel. I'm here with my friend Perp, and we are going to be discussing our favorite Dragon Ball Z characters, and then we'll move on to our top five animes. Um, yeah, go ahead, Perp. What are your favorite Dragon Ball Z characters?
Favorite Dragon Ball Z characters. Damn, yo, that is a really hard one because there's so many damn characters. So, not in any specific order, but just my top five. I would have to say off the top of my head, definitely Vegeta, Jiren, Hit, Frieza, and Goku Black.
All right, all right, all right. Mine are Vegeta. Um, I'm gonna go with Piccolo. I'm gonna go with Jiren. I'm gonna go with PyCon,
Mm.
and I'll say Cell after that. Yep.
Yeah, it's almost damn near similar.
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed that we didn't say none of us said Goku.
Yeah, it's like because I mean I like Goku, but man,
Yeah,
like
if we were making like a top
you,
10, yeah, he's top 10 definitely, but top five, yeah, it's
yeah,
better characters.
but I feel like there are a lot of humans where they would definitely say Goku, and they probably would get furious, like, yep, how come Goku is not in your top five?
Those are the casuals. Those are the casuals. Those are definitely casuals. Who else is watching here?
Right, right. But I feel like that's just the typical go to though. Like you can always expect someone to say Goku like most of the time. So, nothing wrong with that, but I like when I hear other answers and not so much immediate
Yeah,
Goku all the time.
it's sort of like that with comic books. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody want to pick Batman or Superman and stuff. Like they don't go outside
Right,
those two. What's up, DP?
right. Yeah, but it's funny because yeah, what's up, DP? Like it's funny because with DC, like those are my top two, but there are countless other DC characters that I really like. But
Right, right.
so yeah, yeah, go
What
ahead
is
and
what are some of your favorite moments from your favorite characters that you named?
oh from Vegeta and them.
Yeah.
All right, let me see from Vegeta, I would probably say hmm, it's gonna be either between when he first turned Super Saiyan and he was going over his story about how hard he had to train and how much he was thinking about Goku, and
Right.
then he just finally just really just stopped giving a fuck, and then he just turned and he used that to strike fear in 19's heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a really precious moment because it highlighted the epicness and everything in combination of showing us how important his progression has been, because for a while it was like, how far has this dude gotten with his training? But then that was to a really good way to answer that question. Like this is how far he's come. Um,
Right, right.
so it'd be between that one and I'll probably say when he decided to kill all those different humans at the tournament when he had the M on his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was just something about like his speech that he was giving to Goku, and he was talking about his family and stuff, and how he just wanted to be strong, and he had tried to surpass Goku for so long, but it just seemed like every time that he would
He
essentially
got
come
knocked out.
close.
Yeah, he got
it
knocked out a peg.
Yeah, and then it was the whole Super Saiyan 3 thing that Goku was hiding for a while. So, that really pissed off Vegeta. Like I was under a certain impression and I was wrong the whole time, and like, I could really see like how much rage he had, and he just was like, "You know what? I'm tired of this. I'm stronger now and I'm going to beat the crap out of you."
Pretty
So,
much, yeah.
like yeah, those would be my top two, but bear in mind that there are countless moments where I feel like I can interchange them because Vegeta just has a lot of really great moments, in my opinion.
Exactly, right. And I guess we could just go down the line, uh, on our favorite characters and our favorite moments, like go one at a time. So I'll tell you my favorite moment from Vegeta. Uh, I had to take it back to the Saiyan saga where Goku and Vegeta are fighting for the first time. That is
Yeah,
classic. That is
yeah,
that's literally a defining moment that really made Dragon Ball like
yeah,
really take off. Then my second
yeah.
would be I want to take something from Super. Yeah, I'll take that moment from Super where they go back to fight Goku Black and Vegeta ends up putting hands on Goku Black. That was pretty epic. That whole
Right,
speech he had,
right.
that was pretty good. Um, Also like the tour, everything he did in the tournament power was amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the way he just fought till he had literally nothing left and gave the little bit of energy that he had to Goku. I thought that some people were kind of trashing that, but like it made sense. It made sense for the writing.
Well,
You
like why? What were the reasons why you heard that humans were trash in that moment? Like, what was the more common notion?
It's like, oh, they just hold Vegeta again, of course. But it's just like, yo, he put in a lot of work. You know what I'm saying?
He did,
Can't
yeah,
expect, you know. And at the end of the day, it would have been cool to see something different. I understand that, but at the end of the day, this is Dragon Ball, and you're going to have that Goku versus Jiren fight. As much as I would have liked, because as much as I would have loved Hit to be at that at those final 10 episodes, it had to happen.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I agree. Cause
yeah.
I mean, to me, whenever I see something and say something seems familiar, it's for a reason, and I feel like it would more or less match the character to have something that would be consistent with their behavior in terms of what you see with them.
Hmm.
So it didn't really bother me in that sense. I'm like, well, this is normally what we would get. So any sort of irritation from it is like, you're gonna try to backtrack just a little bit and go, well, can't
Exactly.
really say we're surprised by this.
I agree. I agree.
So, yeah, and then what was your other ones, and then I can
Um. All right. We could. Yeah. I'll go next. What did I say? Jiren. Yeah, Jiren's another one. So that should be an easy one. My favorite moment. One of my favorite moments from Jiren, I should say. You're probably going to agree with me with this one is when Goku and Jiren first face off, and he's pretty much Goku's going through all his different transformations, and none of them are doing nothing to Jiren. I thought that
Yep.
was pretty epic. Um, where when Jiren one shotted Kale and one shotted the Mai Kaiju, the blue dude, whatever
Yeah.
from Universe 3. Those
Yeah.
were those were epic moments. And another moment I really like that was really subtle very quickly. What was really quick is when they first get to the tournament, and when Goku is talking to every all the Pride Troopers and stuff, and Jiren just pops up behind him, tells him to get lost.
Yeah. Yeah. That was. Yeah, that was a good one. Yep.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. But yeah, you can go next though.
All right. I'm gonna go to Jiren. Same. I to me, I feel like I liked him the whole time, like just because of I liked his the way he looks and everything,
Hmm.
and I was like, I like his demeanor. Like he seemed to be the kind of dude where he wasn't about no bullshit. He was the kind of guy where he'd be there and he knew what he had to do and he was going to get it done, and there wasn't going to be any such thing as hesitation. Like that word just doesn't exist
Hmm.
to that guy. So I think it was really the moment where we got to see his backstory and stuff, and he started to kind of talk a little bit more
Hmm.
to where I was like, okay, that was
Now,
to me a defining moment for the character.
now with his backstory, a lot of people feel like they should have put that in that 1 hour special. When they instead of having the Ribery and shit in episode 109, they figured like some
Right,
people feel like they should have put his backstory there
right.
instead of having it like at the tail end of the tournament, which I could somewhat agree because then it would kind of make it like, all right, we got a little bit of his backstory, so we know what he's about. How do you feel about that?
Um, to me, I understand that, but I don't feel like it really would have made too much of a difference because I think
Right.
that on one end it's like, yeah, yeah, that I could see that. But then on the other end, like waiting so long, I feel only increased the enthusiasm for the character. Like, kind
Hmm.
of like it kind of made a sort of craving, if you will, like, oh, when are we going to get this? Are we going to get this? And I think something like that allows the viewers to tune in even more just because they're waiting on getting what they think that they may get. So in my opinion, I thought that was the more better strategy of the
Mm.
two.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I thought about it too. I'm like, yeah, they could have put it there, but it is what it is now.
Right, right.
So what
Yeah,
are
it's
some of
like
your other favorite moments,
um
if you have any?
all right. Oh no, I was just gonna say because I think that now that we have it, like I like that it's there. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Right.
But yeah, so another one would be when Goku and Vegeta when they like brought him down to his knees for the first time, and it looked like he wasn't necessarily going to be able to continue in the same way, and then he just kind of bumped up his power, and then he
Yeah,
just charged at him full force.
yeah. The
You know,
clown,
I
the clown wanted him to take advantage of that. Like, what you
hmm
talking about when the Ultra Instinct left Goku's body and shit?
yeah, I think
Or
so. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it
That
was
was
it was
that
like
was
that.
that was a violent ass like.
Yeah,
I
yeah, that
was just
was
like,
just that
he
moment.
die? A lot of people thought, oh shit, did Frieza just do something crazy? Like,
Yeah,
well, that would have been
yeah,
stupid. But yeah, I can respect Jiren because he has integrity. But like that kind of went out the
right, right,
window towards the end because he got frustrated. But I respect that he actually wants to beat him fair and square. He didn't want to take the.
right,
He was about to take the cheap route out and stuff and
right.
just
I,
knock a man while he's already down and stuff. But
you know what? Like when it comes to characters, I think that you to me, what makes a person in general is what they do most of the time. Because I feel like to look at any set of moments or a specific moment wouldn't be how somebody is versus like how they would be like 80% of the time. So because Jiren is
Hmm.
mostly calm, even though he had a moment of frustration, I'm like, well, if you ask me like how would I judge this dude, I would still say he's a very, very calm individual. You know what I'm saying? Like there
Hmm.
has to be specific circumstances to get him to be like that, you know?
Yeah, he lost control because it brought him back to, when he lost his master and stuff, and him being
Right.
him being left
Yeah.
alone and stuff. And
Yep.
I really like that the 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 parallels to that. Goku comes in this with friends, and Jiren's just like a one man army and stuff. Imagine if you know the Pride Troopers had the teamwork that Universe Seven have. Like they probably would have
I
trashed Universe
I
Seven.
think I think if they would have had the teamwork that Universe 7 had, they would have won because
Hmm.
like I take in consideration from a fighting standpoint, like what you're able to accomplish alone. Like if you have that with a team, then it just makes it even more so
Right,
with your victory. So I think that was what held them back in a sense that they, even though they came together seemingly as a team, they were more so individualists in terms of how they were approaching their fighting situations.
right.
So yeah,
Yeah, because everybody on Universe Seven had their niche or something that they could bring to the table. Like Krillin could have been in there longer, but
yeah, but he made a mistake and shit.
yeah, he was getting too, he was filming himself.
Yeah, yeah, that's a huge mistake in any sort of sports or fighting that you start focusing too much on something that's good and you lose sight of everything else, and that leads to you getting that L. So yeah.
Right, right.
All right, yep. What's your
Something
next
more though.
character?
I got hit. The assassin hit. The OG. Say the minute I saw his design, I was like, "Yo, I fuck with him. Yo, he got he's got all the purple and stuff. Automatic go. Like
Right.
if you see my Xbox avatar, I got hit as my Xbox avatar. But
Nice, nice.
I like Hit because this is a character that is not a Saiyan. It's a completely different race. He's like 1,000 years old, which I would love to see a backstory like movie about Hit. Like the first
Yeah, like a whole a
like
whole
nine
movie
hundred
and shit.
yeah, like 900 years later, or like into the past or some shit like that. Because
Yeah.
I want to see where his race of people come from. I feel like is he's the last one of his kind? Is there another assassin out there that's um more like more mischievous than him? But my favorite moment from Hit has to be, I got two actually. But I'll probably just use one. Is when he first killed Goku.
Yeah.
I really like that episode. That was a really, straightforward episode. It showed you
Right.
that he not playing.
Right. There's
You
no
and it shows you how psychotic Goku is, because like, why would you order a hit on yourself? Like, you're really that obsessed with power and shit, just because
right.
he knows, so he couldn't find hit any other way. So it's like,
Yeah, I was like, to me, that was like the episode where when you have individuals that would say like, yeah, Goku would just rape the shit out of Hit, and it's like, well, that episode showed that Hit can definitely do something against Goku. So yeah,
yeah, like
I thought that was a really good episode.
But now that he knows what that feels like, I don't think he's able to counter it like a Jiren person, like a Jiren, because he hit Jiren with that, and he just like kind of brushed that off. Like, see, because like
Yeah,
imagine if Jiren would let him slide, it just left him uh, beat up and stuff, whatnot. And he tried to go use that move on him again. It'd be a lot stronger, you know. And that's the thing about it is that
Right.
he improves every time he fights somebody. So you know.
Right.
And I think Jiren was aware of that when he was fighting him because he took him more serious than he did Goku. You know, I don't think he underestimated Goku because he just looked at him like a saint. I guess it's crazy that like it's you you could say I wish I like would have got some type of backstory, not backstory, but like an episode where they're doing like because I always be wondering like how does he know that he's a Saiyan? Like, there must be other Saiyans. Like, there must have been Saiyans in Universe 11 or something like that. It seems like they're not just exclusive to like Universe 6 and 7. Like, they've been around, maybe in different universes. Unless the clown told him. That's the only way I can.
Wait, you said how does he know that they're a Saiyan?
Yeah. Well, actually, no, no. Actually, that's dumb. That's a dumb question because like the clown was at the that one the at the match between universe 7 and 9, so he would tell pretty much tell Jiren about this, or Topo would tell Jiren about Goku and stuff. So that answers that question.
Yeah.
So what's your next character?
Right. Right. Um, Cell. And by Cell I mean like the perfect Cell, like the
Okay.
final one.
Yeah.
Um, like my favorite moments with him would be the first one would be like just the basic thing in the sense of like once he was complete, it was just like I just got this feeling of like this dude is gonna be a real badass. Like before he even really did anything and everything leading up to that and Vegeta allowing him to get to that because Vegeta like, nah, I want you to be at your strongest. And I remember just going, Vegeta, I get it, like you want to beat up the best, but from a tactical standpoint, that's not the smartest thing to do. Like you want to definitely prevent your enemy from being in a position to where it's more likely that that person can defeat you.
Right.
So it was that, and then like just Cell, like so to me, like when he first came into being complete, like I thought that was really cool, just because of the build up and everything.
Yeah.
Um, and then when he ultimately just kind of established the platform for the Cell games, and he was just kind of calling everybody out.
Yeah. That was
Um,
epic.
I
That was
thought
epic.
that that was just really beast, yeah.
Yeah.
Because for me, sometimes like my favorite moments are just something that's really subtle, like not necessarily
Right.
something that would be more flashy. Like I like to pay attention to the things that others may overlook, or they're like, well, that doesn't mean anything because they're focusing on the more flashy. But of course, I like all the fighting and stuff. But to me, like the whole coming into being, like the build up to that, and then him calling everybody out, like I'm having a tournament, show up so I can beat the crap out of you. Like to me, that just was badass to do something like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Instead of just him like destroying shit, he wanted to have a full blown tournament.
Yeah, because I with Dragon Ball Z like villains, they always do a good job of just making their presence known. They always have to do something big to where just And
Hmm.
I really like how Cell was introduced to where he's at, when he gets to his perfect form, and that whole Cell game stuff. It was really well done, really well done.
Yeah, I like how you said that too. Like the you know, just making the presence known because whether it be that the presence is felt only on that particular planet, or if they've traveled around and there's like a universal kind of effect.
Mhm.
Either way, to have billions or possibly trillions like know who you are, I feel is just the best thing that you can do as a villain because that infinitely amplifies your threat level.
Exactly.
Versus no one really knowing who you are. It doesn't mean that you're not powerful, but there's nothing like wait, so and so is here. Oh, so and so did this, or like we're not strong enough to beat so and so. We know who he is and what he's done, or whatever, whatever.
Hmm.
So to me, I thought that was really good.
And like the greatest indicator back with like watching Dragon Ball Z to let you know how big the threat is, just watch Vegeta. Look how
Yep,
Vegeta reacts to like certain villains and shit. That's how you can tell,
yep, yep.
unfortunately. But but yeah, that's really dope. So I'm gonna pick another villain, iconic Dragon Ball villain, and we might have to add an extra one, just make this a top six because I completely forgot about Beerus. I
Oh,
really
okay,
like
yeah. All right. Yeah,
that.
I'll think of another one then.
Yeah, 'cause that's gonna be my six. I forgot about that, but I'm gonna go with Frieza. Now, this dude, like for me, I feel like Frieza is super iconic, and it's like he is a very unique villain, very intelligent, very arrogant,
Yep.
um, and he's a racist, and so it just all these things just,
Yeah.
and it's just my favorite moment definitely is when he blows up Krillin. When everybody, I remember my brother was showing my nephew that episode, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, it was perfect timing." Because I was like, I just like walked in one day and stuff, and I was just seeing him like watching it. I was like, "Yo, you're watching this episode," and that
Like you're not ready
every
for
time,
this.
yeah, it's like every time I see this scene, I still get chills because it's like they're sitting there celebrating, and then out of nowhere, you just see the iconic Frieza sitting there with his one eye fucked up and like his tail ripped off. And I like that they did that in the Tournament of Power, yo. They did some callbacks to that with the Tournament
I
of Power.
don't. Was I the only one laughing at that? Because like, it was just the help me, like, yeah,
But I love that moment, and so, especially and then the other moment where he's fighting Goku, and Goku pretty much tries to give him a get out of jail free pass, but Frieza being Frieza, he tries Goku, and then so he ends up getting his ass split in half.
hey, you know things are real when someone goes from laughing at you thinking you're a joke to like just complete silence.
Right.
Like there's nothing like that because obviously if someone's laughing, like I said, they think you're a joke. So for them to get silent, that means that is either the first time or the first time in that situation that they realize that you are a problem,
Right.
that they may not be able to succeed in defeating you because this is a fight.
And another moment is when he gets back from Hell in Super. He takes
Yeah.
all those assassins. That was
Hmm.
so epic. Like just you just feel that the intensity, when he's like when he first arrives, when he's like he's out of hell and stuff, and he's just walking and stuff, and he's playing his music, and then he goes golden
Yeah.
form and stuff, and that was really
Yeah.
well done. That was really well done.
Yeah.
He's
I
just
agree. I agree.
and like I always said, like he's like the best of Lex Luthor and Joker into one character
Right.
because he has that hatred for Goku, but he's willing to put that all aside to his own benefits, to stay
Right.
alive.
Yeah, it's like he's doing it, but it's not because he's a nice guy, but because he's
Yeah,
selfish. Like it's for his
because
own benefit.
a lot of people thought like at the end of the Tournament of Power they made Frieza a good guy. I was like, no, he's far from a good guy.
No, what the?
That's what I'm saying. He's just doing what he needs to do. Like he's manipulating people, like thinking
Yeah,
that
because I'm like, I heard that too, Perp, and like for the longest time, I thought that was just the silliest shit ever because I'm like, this dude is trying not to get erased like
right.
everybody else. Like, I mean, this is a guy that wants to have all the power, that wants people to bow down to him. Essentially,
Yeah.
you can't have any of that if nothing exists. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, he's obsessed with power. So like if he didn't care about this whole torment, he wouldn't even, he would have stayed in hell.
Exactly. Like it's just like it in him not doing anything also ensures his automatic death too, because like
Hmm.
you're not helping. Like when the universe gets erased, like everything connected to it essentially goes too.
Yeah, and
It's like
that's what
this
got him.
doesn't
That's what.
exist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I liked how Goku pretty much lied to him, like about getting the Dragon Balls and stuff like that.
Right, right. And Goku, he
I
was
think
smart.
Frieza knew that. I think Frieza knew that though.
I think he might have knew. I'm not sure. Like I don't want to say 100% for sure, but I think it's a possibility because I think that might have been the moment where Goku did something that he doesn't normally do, and like maybe Frieza took it as that. Like that's kind of what I was getting from that. But it could
Hmm.
very well be that he knew. But I
Yeah,
guess that's just up for debate. I guess.
but yeah, he had a lot of great moments in the tournament power, especially like him messing with Topo. I thought that was hilarious. And like him getting fucked up by Topo, that shit was amazing. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the problem with Topo is like he was hesitating. He should have been eliminating motherfuckers. He was just beating people up.
yeah. I think Topo's problem was that he had too much fun fighting versus doing what he should have been doing, which is eliminating individuals to ensure his own survival and the survival of his universe.
How did you feel when he tapped into the God of Destruction, the Hakai energy?
I thought it was epic. Like
I feel I
it
love how
was.
he did it. I love how he did it because like Frieza ripped his shirt and shit. He's like, to hell with justice.
Yeah,
I
yeah, but
was like, you got swole as fuck. He started fucking Frieza
like
up.
he actually scared Frieza too. So that like anyone that
Yeah, that's big.
has seen
That's big.
enough Dragon Ball knows that there are only select moments where Frieza was legitimately afraid.
And it seems like when you tap into that God of Destruction power, you have to give up like certain morals because that's the kind of like what I got from it.
Yeah, I think that's true to a large degree, but I think it may be different for each person because like with
Hmm.
Goku, I'm thinking like while he gave up a lot, like he would still keep certain things intact that would, still
Hmm.
make him Goku. You know what I mean? So in
Yeah.
the case of Topo, I feel like it's hard to say really what like how much he would have given up because he's so different from Goku. So like I
Yeah,
don't.
we didn't
Yeah.
really get a whole backstory. Like, has Topo always been this type of like character, or has he always had that lust for like more
Right.
power, but still
Right.
wants to do good things? Because like you notice how Goku turned it down, and you know, Vegeta has all the makings to be a god of destruction, but I feel like he would turn that down too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
that's why it makes
Vegeta.
sense for
Yeah.
Frieza, like for free. Like I want to see that, like Frieza become a god of destruction because I feel like, you know, he checks all boxes. You know.
Right. Yeah. Because I think with Vegeta, he likes to get a lot of stuff on his own. Like whenever he gets it, he wants to feel like he earned it, not so much that it's random.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that has to do with why he's turned a lot of stuff down in terms of essentially what could have been his power boost because he did that before, so he knows what it's like. So he probably at that point was like, you know what, well, if I can get it this way, fine. But if I can't, then I will forego that and just kind of amplify what I already have, which is something that we've seen on multiple occasions. Like he will slightly exceed whatever that form is,
Hmm.
almost going into the other one, but not necessarily being that. So I've always thought that was fascinating about Vegeta. Like you're not this form, but you're so close to that without being it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like he's getting his own. He's carving his own path pretty much. But
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. So who we got? I went through Cheetah, Jiren, Hit. Yeah, so
Yeah, I
we're on
got
number five. So who's your number five?
let me see, one, two. I went through three of mine, so I'm on my number four.
Yeah, right. Four. All right.
Yeah. So, and then I got to think of another one. Uh, like once I get through these. So Piccolo.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
yeah, Piccolo. Like from when I saw him in Dragon Ball, so to speak, but more specifically in Dragon Ball Z. Like I've always
Hmm.
thought that he was a fascinating character because he's one of the few characters where over the stretch of time, with the exception of like he grew to like Gohan and stuff like that, like he more or less like developed more emotions, but even still he's kind of for the most part always been the same with how he carries himself and how much he cares about training. Like there's a certain level of consistency and discipline with Piccolo that I really like and respect. Like you don't have moments where Piccolo is just wasting time or being silly.
Hmm.
Someone may say, well, what about when he was wearing the street clothes and he was doing the driving thing? I'm like that was funny, but it wasn't so much as like Piccolo just deciding to do that as much as it was that he was dragged into that situation. But like on his own though, like he's always about preparing, getting things done, trying to help others, checking on his friends. Like so to me, with Piccolo, I don't think I really have favorite moments per se as much as it is like the character as a whole. I just like everything about him.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I like Piccolo. Piccolo's definitely one of those underrated characters that definitely underused too. Like it's like they don't
Yeah.
even. You had two Namekians in Universe 6, and you don't even really utilize that.
Right.
That was kind of
Right.
a missed opportunity. That they definitely kind of like rushed that. We should have got like a little bit more time with that.
Like I kind of always equated Piccolo to being he's like that guy like okay like you have you got like say the cool kids or whatever. They have like a group of friends and Piccolo seems to strike me as the kind of dude like where if he shows up it's fine and then if not it's also fine. Like it doesn't really seem to really matter all that much,
Hmm.
like in the way that they don't really utilize him. So to me, like I always felt like Piccolo was like that. It's like, hey, Piccolo's here, that's cool. And then if it's not, then you sort of think about it, but you're too busy focusing on other things to really give it your full undivided attention.
Right.
So and I felt like the other characters more or less, when he wasn't there, pretty much what I'm saying, like, hey, how's is Piccolo here? Oh, he's not. All right. And then they kind of move away from it really quickly because they it's like it's almost like they know that he's gonna come back at some point. So they don't really ever worry about him in the way that they would do everybody else. So like Piccolo's doing his own thing. He'll be here when he's here, and then that's just kind of the notion.
Right.
And because Piccolo is not on like a Vegeta and Goku's level power wise,
Hmm.
he's normally not needed in the bigger fights in that way. Like if anything, he'll pose as like a like a distraction
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that kind of sort of thing. To
I do
buy
wish
time.
I do wish they would give Piccolo like at least one more power because I feel like give him like his own little arc. Give him like a little short arc somewhere where like we can get more backstory on like the Namekians and the Dragon Balls because he's a very like the Namekians are like what make the Dragon Balls. You know what I'm saying? You figure like they should have you know a bigger impact on the overall story and stuff. Like,
Right, right, yeah. Because I mean, he did his thing where he helped killed Raditz, and then he was when he got that power boost, he was going up against Frieza for a little bit.
hmm
But other than that, though, like, and then you can maybe count like some of the stuff going on with 17, the androids, but
hmm
like his moments are more sprinkled throughout. Like, and when you compare it to, um, Vegeta and Goku is like almost like non-existent because their feats are so much greater than his in comparison.
Right.
Because to me, he's the guy that like you got a huge army of people, and then you got the main guy. Like Piccolo's always been the whole I'll take out these guys while you guys do the more important things. So to me,
Right.
that's more of a side, non-important kind of character. Like, sure you helped, but if you
Yeah.
weren't there, it probably wouldn't have made that much of a
If,
difference per se,
if he's not in the fight, then he's babysitting Pam.
Right, right. He's more or less like helping or he's babysitting. He's a background kind of character.
Exactly.
You can do away with background characters. Like, of course you can argue that like, well, if he wasn't helping, it would have made it harder. But it's like I think if anything, it just would have made it harder, but not so much impossible for them to do what they needed to do. Like unless like I said, like with the Raditz situation, like Piccolo was needed for that in a way that he wasn't needed for other things. Like
Yeah.
because he's the one that actually fucking killed Raditz. Like that was Piccolo,
Hmm.
not Goku. So like that would to me would be like the highest highlight because it was like
And
this is the you needed Piccolo for that. Definitely.
and he kind of got his little revenge right there. He was able to kill two Saiyans, but one Saiyan that he always wanted to kill, which was
Right.
Goku. So
But
he just
also
got
doing some good at the same time. So it
yeah.
wasn't it wasn't it was good for the overall planet that he did that because he still
Hmm.
took out Raditz. So it's like, hey, I got to hurt Goku, but that's not so much why I did it. But it's like you have something that has multiple areas of what would be considered acceptable, if you will.
Right, right, right. So let's say it's number five or fifth. Yeah, it's number five. So I'll go with yeah, like Piccolo's dope. Piccolo's definitely a dope ass character. Um, but yeah, let's we can move on to the next one. My number five, Goku Black.
All right, yeah, man.
I love Goku Black from his design. It's very simple. It's evil Goku, the true evil Goku, not that turtless fucker. I don't like turtless like that.
Oh, you don't
Um,
like what? How come you don't like Turles?
I don't know. Maybe I have to go back and watch it, but I was never like a huge fan of like that
Oh,
whole like
the Tree of Might and shit.
yeah. I
Yeah,
wasn't really yeah. I wasn't feeling it like that.
like
But
what? Like I don't feel like I really disagree with you that much because it was like when I saw it as a kid, I was like, this is cool. Like, but like that kind of was my complete thought.
mhm,
Because like when you say this is cool, it's a compliment, but it's not necessarily the best. It's like it's passable. Like you letting people know, like, yeah, you liked it, but there might be a list of buts after that. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, so I like the way that they introduced him because even though we saw what he looked like before they even put him in the episode, um, I liked how he shows up. It was a dope way to reintroduce Future Trunks, even though I know that's debatable. Some people don't like Future Trunks the way that they just put him in here, but I thought it worked, for the most part because you know Trunks is all by himself. He's like the last Saiyan alive, whatever. Um, and then you have this mysterious character pop up, destroying everything and stuff, and then when you get that
Yeah.
when you get that reveal, the look
Hmm.
on Trunks' face is like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when he beats the shit out of Future Trunks in his base, that shit was crazy. And the moment that he made his own Super Saiyan God transformation, the Super Saiyan Rose or Rose, um, that was really epic. I like that,
Like that. That
especially.
actually. That actually looked cool because like with
Mhm.
that color, like I've seen some cosplayers do it, and it's like on certain individuals it looks good, and others it doesn't look right. So like in the case of an anime, I feel like when you go to those kinds of colors, it would work in a way to where in real life it only translates well if it's a certain person. Like it doesn't work for everyone that tries it, even if
Hmm.
the color and the hair and the outfit is correct. It really has to be the person that makes it look good.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, and my probably hands down my favorite moment from Goku Black is where he stabs the fuck out of Vegeta and tells him he's just an appetizer. That shit in Japanese was so savage. That's why I was like,
yeah,
that's why I was like, yo, I like Goku's Japanese voice, man. It's way more menacing, especially with Goku Black. Like, it's just way
that
more menacing.
you know what? I feel like okay, I can with Goku Black, I could give it a pass, but like just the standard Goku, I just that voice was too scratchy. Like I was like, it just kind of I felt like it made me laugh where I shouldn't have been laughing because of the way it sounded. Because to me, like a character's voice is important, like especially when you're watching animation of some kind.
Hmm.
Like if the character's voice doesn't sit right, it could potentially ruin like it maybe the whole show or a certain experience because
Right.
you're taken out of it because you're focused on how much you don't like it instead of focusing on what's going on. Um, for me, it wasn't to the point to where it ruined anything. I didn't feel like that. It was just more of like when I first heard it, it was noticeable, and I'm like, I don't like that too much, but it wasn't enough to like make me not like the show or anything like that.
I feel you. I feel you. It's understandable. Yeah, I can see. Like, it's really like a toss up. Like with some people when it comes to Goku's voice and stuff, like to the Japanese, to the English. It's just certain aspects. Like, you know, I guess because like I've been watching it for so long, I'm so used to it now. That when I go to the dub, it just sounds weird now to me. Even
Yeah,
though I
I
know
that could
that's
have
always
something to
been
do with it.
Goku's English voice, but like I've been watching so much of the sub, it's just like it's ingrained in me now. So it's like I'm more
Yeah.
used to. Vegeta's sub voice is amazing. Arguably, I would say it's better than his dub version.
Oh yeah, like the way that to me, if I'm not in the room and you play Vegeta's American voice, like I just know that it's Vegeta talking. Like it's very distinctive in that way. I'm like, yeah, Vegeta. Like I may not necessarily per se like I mean, depending on what he's saying, I'd be able to pinpoint like what episode or whatever. Not so much the number, but like what's going
Mhm.
on. Like, okay, he's dealing with Cell, he's dealing with Frieza, he's talking to Goku, whatever, whatever. But like his voice, I'll never forget it because it's so distinctive, and it's when you hear it, like he sounds like a bad guy, and then he also sounds like he just has all this confidence that's unwavering,
Mhm.
but like he just commands your attention. Like you know that when he says stuff like, okay, like this guy ain't playing. Like there's something about like how he commands your attention with his voice, like whether he's calm or not. Like this dude means business. Like if you overlook this for a single second, you might end up in the ground, like literally.
Yeah, and I want to go off a little topic, like real quick, because like I see a lot of voice actors getting like, I feel like they don't get enough credit because yeah, you might not be able to see their face or not really like acting, but to be able to voice act, that's a talent within itself. To just create this
Oh
character
yeah, absolutely.
and capture these emotions, that shit's hard as fuck. Harder than to actually try to act because, when you're actually trying to act, you're you have a sense of where you want to go with it, but you're seeing something with no like no context. Because I saw the behind the scenes on Battle of Gods, and it's like they're literally in front of a screen with no words, pretty much. Unless if it's like and they just have their lines and stuff, and they have to
Well, yeah,
pretty
because
much.
it's like because like see when you're I think they're both hard in different ways, but like the difference being is that like um when you're physically acting in the sense that the audience can actually see you and you're in a costume or whatever, some kind of
Uh,
prosthetics or whatever, you have your emotions and your body language to help convey whatever you're feeling.
right.
With voice acting, the only thing that the person can like they see the animated character, but it's like really the only thing that will work is how good you are with your voice ranges. Like can you convince the person that this character is sad or happy or whatever they are? Like
Hmm.
that has to do with that person being on point with their voice because you
Yep.
you don't you don't have those other things that I mentioned. So you have to hit the highs and the lows and like you need to be able to hit those emotions with
And
your voice.
and that's why I really can respect shit and subbed. When like where you hear the natural, the authentic voice. It's just something about that there are some really good dubs out there, but it's just nothing beats just the original on how it sounds. They really put like heart and soul in it. You really get that sense of like if they're in danger, you really get that sense they're in danger, or if they're scared, you get that sense of like they're really scared and stuff through their voices and stuff. It's
Exactly. Like it's just like how we were talking about some days ago, the way that Goku was begging Kid Buu not to blow up the planet.
Yeah,
like
like that shit is amazing. That shit is subbed and dubbed. That shit is amazing.
yeah, like I just like the original was just great, but then like when I heard the English, man, it was something about I was like, I really believe this dude is scared that's doing his voice acting.
Right.
Like the way his voice hit them highs and stuff, and it just I was like, holy shit. Like
Shit. Yeah, that's
yeah, it just I was like, you know what? Like if that don't convince him, like you can't say nothing else that's gonna be better than that. Cause like that was like the most desperate shit that I've ever heard. Like if that don't work, I don't know how to help you.
right, right, right. Yeah, hit that like button. Got 8 likes. I'm liking that.
Yep, yep, yep. That's
What's up,
good. Yep.
everybody in the chat? I see everybody in the chat. Senate, Stevie J, Tia. Oh damn,
Let me see.
Tia. I never seen her. I don't think I've seen her before. Hold on.
Yeah,
Must
what's
be
up to
new.
you?
But shout out to you.
Let me think. So
Who's
yeah,
yeah,
so I've heard a couple of humans tell me um that they feel like I would be a good voice actor. How do you feel about that?
I think you would. Very unique voice.
Yeah, because I because I I'm able to change my voice quite a bit. And um I think that would help me. I never really thought about it that much. It was more of when I was a kid, like certain people would just say that to me, and I was like, oh, thank you. And
I
didn't
was the
really
same way.
think
I
about
was
it.
the same way when I was younger. I used to always imitate like the Pokemon and stuff and do. And I
Yeah,
stopped doing it, but like I'm on the same boat. Like because I always wanted to get into films and shit like that.
right.
And everybody has to start somewhere. So it's like I don't necessarily like to be in front of a camera, obviously. Um,
Oh, yeah.
so I always like to be like in the background. So it's like, I would love to do some voice acting or something like that. I think that'd be a really interesting avenue to take. I was thinking about that. I was like, yo, with all the people we know, yo, all we could make our own like animated like series. We just gotta get someone that knows how to draw.
Yeah, like the draw, like someone that knows how to draw and do the animation and shit. Like,
Yeah, just like that. That would be really dope. That would be a dope project to do.
and that would I think that would also be very expensive because those like unless you get like a an artist slash animator or artist slash animator, like whether it be a person with both those skills or two individuals, like
Hmm.
unless they're really cool, like they gonna want a big cut for that because it takes a lot of work and shit. So because a
Yeah,
lot of humans,
impressions.
while they're willing to help, they're expensive.
Stevie J, I don't know about giving you any impressions because I've been working on this like laugh, but I'm not gonna do it right now. So, but it's a very like I could kind of describe it. It's like one of those creepy, menacing, like evil laughs. Because I always thought like evil
Oh,
laughs
he's
were cool. and shit, like certain evil laughs, like
Oh
the
hell
Joker,
yeah.
like Mark Hamill and stuff and whatnot.
Oh,
But
he want like I don't know, like I could do random evil laughs like like just something like that. Like
yeah, that
but
or
yeah,
like it would be like Man Dark. You'd be like ha 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 ha. Ha. Yo, that shit's funny as shit. When Man Dark be laughing and shit from
yeah.
Dexter, that shit's funny as hell.
Yeah. Like I always like when it's really loud at first or it's just a build up and shit like and it just gets loud as fuck like yeah. But yeah, yeah, it's just it's one of those things like when you change your voice because like me, like I tend to try to like imagine the character and then I try to jump into it. Um, like for example, um, with Heath Ledger's Joker, I'll just just think about it and then it's like, Gotham is full of people that you never really know which way they're gonna go, and you try to imagine that Batman will save him. But you see, he doesn't realize that he's a freak like me. And then I'll just
Right.
I just go into it. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
like you were spot on with Goku's Japanese voice though. I've never heard nothing else. That's just funny as fuck. He's like Vegeta.
Yeah,
Yo, he did that shit a
Vegeta!
lot. He did that shit a lot during his horror power. Yeah.
I'm telling you, even like from how like I would go like from my regular voice like this to like Heath Ledger's Joker or to like Goku's thing like in Super, like it's hard. Like it's one of those things where I just kind of have to like think about it and then I try to go
hmm
to it. But it's such a drastic switch from my own voice that like I have to
Yeah,
maintain a certain level of concentration to be able to continue it the longer I
and
talk.
and that's why I give like voice actors and actors, like especially good ones, like props because like that shit's really hard. Especially like you have to really find this character and bring it out. You gotta
Yeah,
like
and be
if
consistent.
you're
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah if it's a dark character, you have to go in some dark places and think nothing but dark shit like and that's it's really interesting, really interesting.
Yeah.
Take
But yeah,
Mark
all
Hamill.
right. So, oh yeah, yeah. Like you mean like what he does with Joker and the difference between like that and Luke Skywalker and
Yeah, and even with the Chucky, like I really like his voice as Chucky. It's
yeah,
just
like it fit. Like
Mhm.
I thought it was fine. Like I was like, huh, this isn't bad. Like all right. Like I just wish he had more lines because like
Yeah.
with the other Chucky because he
Mhm.
was a person he came across like a person, like to where this one was a machine. So it's like he's only gonna talk in like a broken kind of "Are you happy?" Like it's like kind of
Yeah.
slow and delayed. Like so, to me, I wasn't feeling that as much as like how we're
You,
talking right now.
you
That's how Charles D. Ray would be talking to Andy and shit. Like, yep, you're gonna you're
you know
gonna
you
give
know
me your
what
body and I'm gonna do this spell.
you know what that Chucky kind of reminds me of? Not exactly, but like the way he just moves around is Jester from Puppet Master.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
way he
he
uses
was
his
yeah.
facial expressions and stuff like that. Even though they're like completely different things, but it's kind of
Yeah,
like a little
yeah.
bit. But let's finish
So
up
yeah,
this.
so mine so my next one would be PyCon. That would be my number five, and then while you do your what was your number six next or number five?
Number six.
Okay, yeah. So when you do your number six, and I'll be thinking of my number six after this one. So
Right.
number five, PyCon. Um, I liked him because it was like how he looked and him being green. Like I know that's like really basic, but it was like, okay, this dude looks cool. Like okay, that's a check. But when I saw him in that when he came out and what he did to Cell and Frieza, like he was essentially like one shotting these dudes, and to
Yeah.
me it just really established how beast his character is because like Goku struggled forever against Frieza until he was able to do something, and then with Cell he wasn't even strong enough to fight him. It had to be his son Gohan. And here comes the green guy, PyCon. He just coming here like toop, 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 and these dudes are already hurt. Like, do you remember when he literally backhanded Frieza? It was a literal backhand, and then Frieza was just on the ground.
Yeah, that's just,
Like that.
or when he pretty much dropped his hat on the
Yeah,
and that shit was heavy as fuck. Or nah, I think he threw it. Didn't he throw it at Goku or something like that?
I think he threw it, and it was like it had so much power behind it. You might as well have shot a missile or some shit. Like it was crazy. Like it and like it's because with a lot of fights and stuff, you normally hear the whole like, oh, this person got backhanded, but it's not necessarily literally a backhand. It's just a way to express that this person got dealt with fairly easily.
Hmm.
But PyCon literally backhanded Frieza. It was a literal like sit your ass down. Like what you gonna do? So, and Goku on top of that was impressed by that. Like how the hell did this dude easily beat people that I had to train forever against and be in special circumstances? And this dude is casually doing it. It wasn't like he was struggling. He casually messed up Frieza and Cell. So like I thought that was a great moment. And then it's a combination of PyCon versus Olibu, who basically looks like Hercules.
Right.
It was a combination of that fight. Just starting with that one would be because it was just kind of going back and forth, and the way they cut together kind of the same scenes eventually when they started kind of clashing the elbows and shit. The
Hmm.
way the way that they cut it together and reused it like really quickly, like gave me the notion that these dudes are just evenly matched. Like it's like one couldn't necessarily outdo the other. Like anyone that's gonna win that fight, it would have to be you just got lucky. Like you happened to land a blow that this person didn't see coming. Like it would have to be like that, and then whoever would come out victorious, it wouldn't necessarily be that one is better than the other one. Is just one got lucky. Simple as that.
Exactly.
Um, and then of course, PyCon versus Goku, because I'm like, Goku didn't win that perp. Like he
Nah,
just
he
didn't
didn't.
win it. So like at that moment, to me, like PyCon was just as strong as Goku. Like that's what
Yeah,
I was getting from
yeah,
that.
Goku definitely has a lot of L's more than W's, yo.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, because there were some humans that were talking to me like, "No, Goku easily beat him." I'm like, "What you mean he easily beat him?
Like,
Where,
what
where,
fight did
what
you watch?
episode was that?" Like they made it sound perp. They made it sound like PyCon got on that platform and Goku Kamehameha him, Kamehameha waved him, and then he just was done. Man, like it didn't
Right.
happen like that.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah, but
shit.
anyway,
You
that
think
that's
you think Super's gonna make him canon?
um probably not. And the reason why I say that is because unfortunately, whenever the few videos that do exist on Dragon Ball, because it's like you go on YouTube, is it's not really as many in comparison to everything else. Like it's very limited, right? So you
Hmm.
got that, and then when you go on forums and different things, like I don't really find too many individuals, if any at all, that bring up PyCon on a regular basis.
Right.
Like the only time that I really hear him mentioned, which is really rare, is if you specifically focus on that moment in Dragon Ball Z. But when you're covering the overall lore, like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, the movies and Super and stuff, usually people focus on so many other characters, which for good reason. I understand that, but
Hmm.
PyCon doesn't get mentioned a lot, so I don't really see them
Yeah.
feeling that it's necessary to push that character
Yeah.
to the forefront.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Because I wouldn't know how they would introduce him anyway. So
Yeah, it's like it because I really do like him so much. Like I would love to see that. Like even if it was like he were to come back for 5 episodes, you know what I mean?
you
Like
know
and
what would be
have
interesting?
mm,
How they could spin it right is that he is also within he's also like an assassin like Hit or something like that, and like him and Hit have some type of like long history or something like that. They could
that
spin
that
it like that.
that'd be cool. I wouldn't be against that, but like I was thinking more of like find a way to do him to where he stands on his own and you don't
Right,
necessarily
right.
have to think about others and connection him because like if you're gonna bring him back, because the problem now is kind of like how I was saying that you find yourself, including me that likes him, including me that we're thinking about so many other individuals before him. So if you want to bring him back and have a lasting impact, it needs to be something to where I feel that it needs to be something to where it's you just get to focus on him. It's like PyCon is back. This is what PyCon does, or this is what he's been doing. This is how much stronger he is. It needs to be him. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
if you tie Hit to him, I feel like
Yeah,
something like that would backfire and would just make Hit more popular. You know what I mean?
right.
So it would be like the effect of what happened with the Green Hornet and the Batman series with Adam West. Like they brought on Batman and Robin with the on the Green Arrow show to try to elevate its ratings, and it backfired. It actually made more people watch Batman because Batman was already more popular than the Green Hornet. It was like when Green Hornet came out, you had Bruce Lee there as Kato, and Bruce Lee was still relatively unknown at that point. Like he hadn't blew up and shit at that point, but it was unique in the sense that you had this really badass martial artist rolling around with the Green Hornet, and it was like he was so badass. And as we know, Bruce Lee is what he is. I think he's the best martial artist ever. But like in the context of that show, when you compare his fighting to what Batman and Robin was doing, you're like, man, Kato by himself would beat the shit out of Batman and Robin in the context of
Right.
that show, right?
Hmm.
So the idea of like, let's put them together and we'll boost one because one, like in terms of Batman, it's like, well, if he loses some viewers, it won't hurt him as much because he's so big that he can take the hit. In
Hmm.
comparison to Green Hornet, it's like they're fine, but it's like you don't want to do anything to get their fans to now go watch Batman and not come back for Green Hornet. You know what
Oh,
I mean? So
Senate
yeah.
asked. Senate, are you asking who is Green Hornet? Oh, he's asking who Green is he? Senate, are you asking who is Green Hornet exactly? Is that what you're trying to say?
All all the actor, he wants to know the actor.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have to pull up his name because I always fucking forget it for some reason. Like, let me see, Green Hornet original actor. I always forget his name for some reason. Like it's always like on the tip, but I like just it just doesn't come out all the time. So let's see. Van Williams. There we go. See, it's always I don't remember his first name and I don't want to just say Williams, you know what I mean? So yeah,
Hmm.
Van Williams is the original Green Hornet, and then you had that remake movie with Seth Rogen. Like I went to see that in the theater and like it was funny, it was entertaining, but it's like to me, if you redo Green Hornet, it's like number one, you will never replace Bruce Lee. That just but at the very least, like it would to me, it can't be silly. Like the Seth Rogen one, like that was
Hmm.
fine. But Green
Yeah.
Hornet, like especially today with comic book stuff, like Green Hornet needs to have that trailer where like when people like, oh, Green Hornet, okay, they might have seen the show with Bruce Lee and Van Williams, or they might have seen the Seth Rogen movie, or they might have heard about Green Hornet because of all the references that Quentin Tarantino made to that movie in the first Kill Bill movie, with the theme and the Kato mask and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it would get people talking and doing research off of what they've already seen or at least what they've heard about. And you want them to be badass. Like Green Hornet and Kato need to like I'm talking about like it has to be like that hard PG-13 or even R where like these dudes are just beating the piss out of criminals to where now when you compare them to comic book movies, it's like okay, you got heroes, but they can stand out in a certain kind of way. Like you're not going to get necessarily what you would find in most cases. Like these dudes are beasts, and there
Right.
needs to really have a strong martial arts element with the Kato character. Like the only way to present a Green Hornet movie going forward is complete 100% badass. That's the only word that people need to say when they watch that trailer. Like this looks badass. I'm going to watch it. Like that.
Right.
That's all you need.
I want to.
So yeah.
I just want to address the chat real quick. Shout out to my boy K Dot. Just hit 1K subscribers. Dope channel.
Hey.
Yo, you would like him, yo. He's really into like the comic books and stuff that we're into and stuff. I'm gonna try to get him on a live stream or something like that. with like Leah
Oh
on
yeah,
them.
yeah. Like it, we have we could do all three of us and shit. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get them in here one of these days. But yeah, like shout out to you, K Dot. You know what I'm saying? Cause
Yep,
man,
yep.
he be
Congratulations.
dropping mad videos and just all the hard work paying off right now. So let me know when you get monetized, Joe. Let me know when you get monetized if you want to get that check.
Speaking of monetization, like my brother and me, we've been monetized for like a few years now.
Hmm.
Like I don't really do live streams. Like I did a few, but it was just like kind of just random. But
Hmm.
um, a lot of our videos are definitely monetized, and we got the Google AdSense and all that set up. We finished setting it up today because it was like it wasn't completely set up, but like now it is. Like my brother took care of that on his end. So like um, we have to reach that threshold of it hitting that $100,
Hmm.
and then at that point the money will be deposited into. I had it set up to my brother's thing because he has a checking account. Like I just
Hmm.
have a savings, so I told him like connect it to his, and then when they automatically deposit it, when it hits that threshold, then whatever it is, then he just withdraws half of it and then he gives it to me. That would be my half for the work that's been put in.
Okay. Yeah, cause I
So
see I see like cause I've been wanting to try to figure out how many videos you had. I was like, yo, this motherfucker has like almost like 7,000 videos. I'm like, God damn.
yeah, yeah. Like at this point, it's like I think it's approaching 7,300. Like it's like so yeah. Like cause my brother he doesn't do it as much as me. Like you've
Mhm.
already seen that. Like
Yeah,
even though you're like
I see
fairly
your brother
new.
in certain videos.
Yeah, it's like so out of the 7,200 some odd ones, like I've done like 5,000 or something, and then my brother's done like about 2,000 or something.
Damn,
So,
that's crazy.
because I mean, there was a time where I would drop so many at one time because there's a lot of things that I like to talk about. My brother, he mostly covers the sports and shit. Like when he talks
Okay.
about stuff like, and with me, I'll cover sports, but it will only be specifically like MMA type stuff.
Right, right.
So,
That's dope though. That like y'all both have something to bring to the table and stuff, and it's
yeah,
not just you
exactly.
doing it. That's dope.
Yeah, exactly. So like, cause it started with my brother, cause you know, I'll go into this real quick before I get to my number six. But like,
Hmm.
he started the channel, and then he was doing it for about 3.5 months before he brought me on board. And like, he had asked me one day if I wanted to do it, and I was like, yeah, I don't see why not. And then like from there, that's when everything started to change. Like, because like I said, like he wasn't really doing it as much because he likes to take his time, so that's why there's less of him and more of me. So like because with me it's like even if there's not something being uploaded every day, I've still already shot stuff. I'm just planning to drop it at a certain time. Right?
Hmm.
So like so that's the difference. So but I did the channel art. I put together all our playlists because there's like 120 some odd playlists that I put together.
Hmm.
Like Perp, that shit took forever. Like that shit took forever,
You
Perp.
ever
Like
thought about
imagine
making?
like
You ever thought making like an intro for your videos?
I thought about it. But yeah, I just like never really like thought
Hmm.
about it too long. It was just kind of like, well, yeah.
You just went with it. It's
I just went with myself like right off the
mm.
bat because like I
Yeah.
had
Some
so
people
many
like that. Some
ideas.
people
Yeah,
like that. Because
yeah.
I
So
remember. I remember I let this one girl like take a look at my channel and stuff, and she didn't necessarily like my intro because she's like like she just prefers like people just to get straight to the point or have like a 5 second intro or something like that. So I was like, that's interesting.
yeah, it depends on the person because
Hmm.
like when I was thinking about different things, because I was thinking about animated stuff like me, like animated and doing different things. But like to me, I just felt like, just once you click on it and you just see me right away, I just thought that was the best way to go. So um,
Hmm.
it turns out I wasn't entirely wrong about that. But yeah, like
Yeah,
I just decided to go with that.
yeah, showing your face like also like really helps grow your channel a lot faster because like people like to know who they're like watching.
Yeah,
It's
right,
kind of
right.
weird,
That's
but it's whatever, I guess. It
but to
works.
be honest though, like because there are like literally thousands of videos, there are plenty where my face isn't shown. But see, the
Hmm.
thing to offset that is that there are thousands that show my face. So like if someone just randomly is new to the channel, like obviously the profile pic, you can see my brother and me anyways.
Hmm.
So you're like, okay, these are clearly two black guys. But if they click on a video where there's just the image, or in some cases, it's even just a black screen and it's just me talking. So it's like, they would have to learn which brother is which. So like, eventually they figure it out in a couple of videos. Like, when they see what I look like and stuff, like they know if it's like humans and humans this and that kind of stuff, they know that it's Terrance. And then like my brother is more like normal, if you will, when he talks. Like it's just you don't have any of that kind of stuff. So like once you get in sync, it's easy to distinguish us in terms of like the
Hmm.
personalities and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it just that's pretty much how that happened. Like once my
Is
brother
that
brought me on,
is that
mm,
your twin brother?
no, he's just my brother.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
we're about I want to say like 5 years apart because I'm 30. I think he's like 25 or 26. I always fucking forget, but like
Yeah, like me and my
yeah,
brother got that kind of gap. We're like four years apart, something like that.
yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
he looks like like I'm not sure if you've seen any videos with us together where you see us on camera because we do have a playlist, Tremaine and Terrence, and like
Hmm.
that has all our videos of where you can see both of us together and we're discussing a topic. Like we more or less look the same. Like his skin is lighter and mine is darker.
Hmm.
In the context of the videos, because you see both of our faces, like aside from the skin, we almost look the same. But it's like
Hmm.
really the height and the body difference that makes us stand apart. Like he's taller than me at 6'1", and I'm about 6 feet. Like I'm 215, and he's like I think 170 at 6'1". So like if you see us next to each other, there's a huge like mass difference and height difference. So like,
Okay.
that's a way to tell us apart in that sense. Because if you just see both our faces, like sometimes humans can get confused, like, wait, which one's him and which. But I feel like because you've been interacting with me, you already know which one is me. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
already know. Like
yeah, yeah. Definitely,
like
definitely.
if you got a whole video and human isn't said once, like you know
Yeah,
that's not me. Like
correct.
if it
A
more or
clone.
less sounds like too normal, you know that shit ain't me. Like it
Yeah.
just yeah. But
You
yeah,
got
so yeah, that's
you definitely have to trademark that, yo. You definitely got to trademark humans. You make it mad, mad,
you
bro.
know what, like it's funny because like I remember like because I've been doing this for about like I don't know 7.5 years, like give or take. So I I noticed that like they had this show come out called Humans and shit. I was
Hmm.
like, what the fuck? Like it was just called Humans, per like
Yeah, I seen that. I seen a little, a couple episodes of it.
and I was like, all right, fine, maybe this don't mean nothing. But I'm telling you, like on MacGyver, like there was just a scene for no reason. Like they were talking and uh you had a Bozer, his character, like, well, sometimes in life the universe just gives us answers. I was like, it was one of those things where I'm like, all right, fine, maybe not, maybe not. But then on the Flash, it was like you had Barry Allen, like, yeah, sometimes in life. I was like, Perp, somebody is listening to me, Perp, because I'm like, I like out of all the things they can say, like I'm like, hmm. And then Perp, this is the biggest one. Like I feel like this is the most blatant one. Like I could be like terribly wrong, but like it's just there's nothing like back to back coincidences. So I'm not sure if it's still on, but there was a show called Superior Donuts,
Mm.
and
I don't think I heard that.
yeah, wait, you heard of it or?
I don't think I've heard of it.
Oh, okay, yeah, like it's a TV show about this black dude and I want to say an Italian guy, and they have like this donut shop together, something like that. I haven't seen it, but that's the gist of it. It has to do with the donut shop. Um, so anyway, like on the commercial, in the biggest, boldest letters that take up your whole screen, Perp, it was like, sometimes in life you want a donut. I was like, Perp. Like you don't see what I'm saying, Perp?
I see what you're saying.
Like it just it there's too many of those, and it just seemed to like come back to back all of a sudden. Like all right,
That's
but yeah. Anyways, though, that's pretty much the making of the channel. Like my brother, he started it, and I like essentially put it to where it is today. Because like with the way that my brother does stuff, it just wouldn't have been the same. Like there's
hmm
so much stuff that I put into the channel and talking to others and doing this and that really helped it grow. So, like he still gets credit, but like I try to
yeah,
let
yeah,
humans know, like if they like for a single second try to act like, this is because of him, like even he'll tell you, he's like, nah, like it's just like I've really propelled it to a certain degree. So, just because someone starts something doesn't mean that they're the reason why it's successful, because I could have just as easily made my own channel
yeah.
and took all the stuff that I put into this one into that one, and all those subscribers would have been over there. Like it just like so I'm just saying like
Yeah.
it's the whole thing as a whole that put it to where it is.
hmm That's dope though. That's a dope story.
Yeah,
That's a dope origin story.
yeah, like it's just cuz it's funny cuz my brother he had made one video, right? And
mm
he showed it to my mom. Like this was like I don't know, 7 years ago or whatever. Like he showed it to I think he showed it to my mom and then my dad or whatever. I forget the order, but they weren't really approving of whatever he was saying in that particular video. And they were like, don't put that online. So if he would have listened to them, then he wouldn't have started the channel that ultimately brought me on board 3 months after the fact.
mm.
So, and then in turn, like it probably would have been, I don't know, maybe 4 years or something like that, a couple of years before I decided to do that myself without my brother. So it just things would have played out differently in terms of where things would have been if Tremaine would have listened to my mom and all that kind of stuff. It just would have turned out differently. We probably wouldn't have been together. We would have been separate and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, like that's like the same thing for me. Like when I first started putting out videos, I didn't really know where I was gonna take it. I was getting views like for certain things, which would like was helping me. But like the one video that really made me want to be like, all right, I could do this for real, is when I dropped my iPhone 8, iPhone 10 like rant. That's over like 1,000 views now. That's like
Nice,
that
nice,
was like my biggest. That was like my fifth video I ever put out, and it's just like from there,
nice.
like I really started to take it serious.
Yeah, you never know because like on our channel we have like a top 500 videos where it's like with the most views and stuff. I think the highest one that we ever got was like 87,000. So like the thing is because we have over 7,000, right? You're talking about like I said with my brother, he tends to cover just the sports. The when we're together, we cover different stuff like politics and different things of that sort. But like me by myself, because the topics are all over the place, as you've seen, like I'm talking about stuff in my life or experiences, this movie, this show, like it's just all over the place. Like you kind of like on one end, what I may talk about, and another end, it could be completely left field to where you're like, what the hell is this? So like the
Right.
Alyssa Milano video, like, there was a lot of
You
humor
found
and stuff.
you found a great picture though. That was a great picture.
Thank you, thank you. I like, and that was just like off the top of my head. I was like, toot toot toot, pop this one, and then doom. Like, so it's like, that stuff has happened. Naturally, I exaggerated the number of times that has happened
hmm
because it just sounded right to me to do it like that. And it like whenever I get an idea, I just immediately go off of that. Like, there's no like huge amount of thought. It's just like boom, it popped in my head. Let's just do this, and that's how that happened. But you
Right.
have stuff like that. So with thousands of videos, you're talking about there are many different avenues where humans can come in to find us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's so many. Like um, like a lot of times it'll be from our older stuff where someone will come in from something like 6 years ago. And then like from that one, we could get like 10 new subscribers off of something that's 5 years old. You know what I mean? Like, so they're coming from all over the place.
Right.
And it's just interesting, like when you find out where and how these people are engaging us in some kind of way, like whether it be that they found us on their own or somebody shared something. It's just like
Hmm.
there's so many different avenues. So to me, I just find it interesting because I mean, I don't really care that much about that. It's more of like I just like to have fun. Like I said, like whatever happens, happens. Um, but yeah, yeah,
Right. Right.
that's pretty much the origin story in short in terms of like how
That's
our
dope.
channel started and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Um, I should tell you that we do have a video for geeks and gamers. Like I made a video talking about Jeremy and the Geeks and Gamers channel,
Hmm.
and Jeremy watched it, and so
Oh
did
shit.
Josiah and the other individuals, and like I'll have to drop it to you in the link, but like they he watched it and he commented like, "Oh, thank you," and this and that, Jeremy and stuff. So like they all watched it because I said like I think I titled it like special message to geeks and gamers. So
Mhm.
they got it. Like somebody I forget who saw it first, but like I guess because of the way I titled it and shit, like because usually people talk shit about them, right?
Mhm.
So I guess they thought it was something bad. Like, wait, who the fuck is this Tremaine Terrance with this special message? So
Yeah.
I forget who it was that shared it with them, but like after that, it's like it somehow made it to them and they watched it.
Yeah. I watched Jeremy like a few of his videos. And I was like, he's kind of a goofy white dude, but like, say I see him popping into people's chats and stuff, and that's really dope. I respect that.
Yeah, and like I made that video because it wasn't it was like, well, it'd be cool to get their attention, but I didn't like really consider that extremely likely. It was just like I'm like, that'd be cool, but there's no way when I was making it, like, I was like, yeah, Jeremy is definitely gonna watch this and respond. Like, hell no. It was just more of like I said, like, that'd be dope, but I'm making this
Yeah.
because this is how I really feel. And them watching it and responding and me knowing about all that stuff was just more of like the far distance. Like, I could kind of see a little light, but like, that shit ain't gonna happen. So, all that shit happened. And it just, like I
Yes.
said, I don't know who shared it first because it doesn't tell you that. It doesn't go like, oh, Bobby shared it with Jeremy and none of that
I,
shit.
I wish YouTube did kind of show you like who likes your shit and who disliked and who shit like say I wish they
Right.
kind of showed you that. Like
Yeah.
that'd be
Because
cool.
unless somebody puts that in a comment like, oh, I watched it and so directed me here, you're not gonna really know. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like
Right.
you just see numbers. You just see views and thumbs up or thumbs down and comments if there are any, and then that's really your only indication of somebody that may have watched it. So the fact that I saw that, like, and it happened fast too, Perp. It was like I think like maybe okay, so like let's say I posted it on Monday or whatever it was. I think it was like by Wednesday, they had watched it and responded. Cause like I was in Josiah's chat and he had I'm not gonna say like he knows me like that, but
Hmm.
there are plenty of times where I would go in the stream and chat with him, and then he'd be like, "Hey, Terrence," like he would remember and shit. Because a lot of times, humans will call me Tremaine because that's the first name, but like
Yeah.
when they directly call me Terrence, then that lets me know that they've dealt with me enough to know that they are talking to Terrence and not Tremaine. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that doesn't bother me or anything. I'm just saying. So he would address me as Terrence, and then like I told him I was like, "Hey, I got this video. You might want to check it out and share it with Jeremy." And for like the first 2 days, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll get to it," but you know how that goes, like how
Yeah.
often people say that. So I took that with a grain of salt, but it turned out that when he said it that second day, like that's when that shit happened. So like I was like, "Oh
That's dope. That's dope. That's big
yeah,
though. That's big. That's big. And I
yeah."
respect Jeremy like for doing stuff like that. You know, uh, coming down from his little throne, whatever, and just showing love, showing love. Because like You say the way people talk about it, he's really big, so it's like, yeah, I respect that though. I respect that.
Yeah,
I feel
and
like
then
more
then
bigger YouTubers should be like that, embrace
oh
like
yeah, yeah.
small
Not
channels.
it shouldn't be rare that like,
Hmm.
you get something from them cuz like I mean, I guess it's understandable cuz it's more of like a celebrity kind of thing too. Like
Hmm.
if I write fucking Tom Cruise a letter, like I ain't expecting him to say shit. Like like or even if he will get to it like, or any celebrity that like I would love to talk to. So, it's I guess I kind of equate it to that. Like granted it is on a smaller scale.
Hmm.
But still, it's still a celebrity of sorts because you're part of the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, and it's kind of more or less more personal than say a movie or TV show actress, to where it's less personal because you don't really get to leave comments to them in the same way that you would a YouTuber. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep.
So, yeah,
And I had that my little moment like that last year with like because I watched Jody's Corner and
yeah,
J3 Entertainment and K Dot. He's from that. You know what I'm saying? I think he was originally. Correct me if I'm wrong, K Dot. If like you were J3's mod first, right? Just like let me know if if I got that right because I could be
man.
off.
The furthest I got with Jody was that he had loved a few of my comments, a few of them. Like
Oh,
I
that's crazy.
haven't. Like he loved a few of my comments, and then a few of them like he would respond like, "Oh yeah, that's what's up," or he would agree or something.
Hmm.
But not so much like a full blown conversation. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't like if I were to meet him out in the streets, I couldn't just say my name and he would know who I am. Like because
Yeah.
I didn't drop any super chats and there wasn't extended discussion. So I like if I were to
Right.
meet him out in the streets, the only thing that I could do that would make sense is like, oh, I watch your channel and that's it. I couldn't be like, oh, I'm, Terrance from Tremaine. He ain't gonna know me like that. So I mean, at least I don't think so. I mean, like that'd be something else. Like if he does, and I don't know, but yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
like I feel like I would get along with Jody or them if I were to talk to them.
Yeah, like because
Um,
you remind me of Ronan, yo. I don't know if you know Ronan, like from their crew and stuff. Like he's
You know
just
what?
out
Like
here.
I'm gonna be honest. Like it's a whole crew of them, and like I swear,
Yeah,
like I couldn't even
it's
name
like
two of
it's
them.
like
Like
Wu-Tang. But how many channels do you see like that? You just see all these brothers together that are like friends in real life and stuff.
I think
Just
that's the only one, because those that's a collaboration of like many channels. You know what I'm saying? And then Jody
yeah.
has his own thing, and you got the Just Us League kind of thing where they all came together and shit. So like I think they're the only ones like that because the other ones that I've seen, it's more of like one or two people or three.
Hmm.
Like it's not that fucking big. At least not on a consistent basis. Like theirs
Yeah.
is like all the time and shit. Like so to
Yeah.
me, like let me see.
They be
I
having
know for
sex.
sure. Yeah, like I know for sure it's Jody, and then like I think the other one J3 or whatever.
Hmm.
I think those are the only two that I could maybe name. Like J3 is one of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I guess those would be the only two that I could like see and be like J3 or this or Jody. Like the rest
Hmm.
I've seen, but I can't name them like that. In terms of the Wu-Tang Clan, you know what I'm saying? You got, the crew, like you got RZA, Method Man, Inspector Deck, and like the other names would come to me like when I see them. But yeah, like I feel
Hmm.
like with them I would be able
Yeah.
to do them more so than fucking Jody's people. But yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching them for a while, so it took me a minute to just like really like lock down on everybody's character. So like I pretty much know everybody for the most part and stuff.
Right, right. And then it's like, yeah, because with the Wu Tang Clan, it's like I like immediately so many names will come to my mind, but then the rest is like, wait a minute, like you got to kind of think on it, and then when you hear it, you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's like when I see them though, I know who they are and stuff like that. Like when I hear them, then I know, which one it is and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, all right. So my
Yeah, we got
number six, my number
yeah.
six would be I think I'm gonna go with. Hmm. I guess I'll go with I guess I'll coin Weiss because
Um, interesting.
because I feel like, so many other individuals could be spot sixes interchangeable because I could also say Beerus, I could also say Frieza, and so on and so on. But
Mm.
like with me, Whis, like this dude is so powerful that like he can fight Goku and Vegeta with his pinky and just knock them both out,
Right.
and like he can also just beat the crap out of Beerus like in his sleep. Like so I've always found it fascinating. Like ever since I was a kid, like I've been just I guess some might say obsessed, but I wouldn't use that word. Like I've been fascinated with the idea of having power, like to where you could just
Hmm.
generally wreck anyone that you come across, or that you have so much power to where you can control an entire country, be it like Hitler or Stalin or Mussolini or someone
Yeah.
like a Xerxes or anyone on those like couple of people like that. Only a couple of people in history where they can say that they've had that kind of power. Like to me, that's always fascinated me, just because it's so rare, and it takes a truly exceptional person to be able to get that and maintain it. Like just the fact that you can literally either physically do something all the time, or your presence and what you have set forth as your own rule and what you believe that others should live by, that you have countless individuals that fear and respect you, and they're willing to carry out all your wishes and orders. Like in the case of Weiss, he has all that physical stuff, but he's relatively really nice and like super laid back for somebody that could just fucking wipe your shit out in a second.
Yeah, and
so
K Dot made a,
yeah.
good observation about the angels, how they kind of serve the god of destructions, but I think it's only to keep them in check.
Yeah, thank you, Perp. I was just about to get to that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Like, there's nothing like, okay, you got this powerful person over here, but then this other person is there to keep them in line, to make sure that they don't necessarily step out of line, even though someone like Beer is it's in his right to do many things, but that somebody can get more or less really angry or really frustrated and do something that they shouldn't have done. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
step over that line. Like you have like Beerus, he more or less has a lot of room to maneuver and move, but we just got to make sure he don't step over this line right here, because sometimes in life you got to understand your limit. So yeah,
Right. Yeah,
so
that's
yeah, like in terms of like favorite scenes with him, it would be, I guess it would be any time that he's eating, because I'm a person
right.
that like likes a lot of food too. Like, because like with my training, like my metabolism is so fast that I do have to kind of eat a lot to maintain my size and strength and all that. Like, that could be very irritating because it's a lot of work in itself. Because it's like on one end you have to do a lot of work to maintain the build, and then you have to eat a lot to maintain, like to help you maintain that and stuff. And it's like it's always like a struggle and a journey and stuff. So
Mm.
some people, they got it easy where they don't have to eat as much, or they can just do a little bit and they'll be fine. Like me, it's always extras in every area, like extras with the physical, extra with the foods. So it's like I like food, but it's almost like I can never get enough to where like my body is satisfied. It just seems like it's like a bottomless
Constantly.
pit and
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
I hate that
It's
shit.
like it's like a constant battle and shit. So like, but in terms of weeds, like enjoying food, like in a world where you got all these people like doing all this crazy training and they're fucking blowing up plants and all this shit,
Right.
you got Weiss in the background just enjoying like ramen noodle soup and shit,
Him
like
and
just
Beerus, they're like all
exactly.
nonchalant.
Yeah, they just chilling, and it's like it. But the difference to me between like say a Beerus and Weiss is that like Weiss just always seems to be happy and chill, to where Beerus like he'll be happy when he's eating food as long as it tastes good, but like after that he's just serious as fuck. You know what I mean? Like to where
Like,
Weiss just yeah,
yeah, and it's like when you see Whis at the tournament power, that's the only time he was kind of like concerned, like he wasn't too
right,
sure
right.
that.
Right. Yeah, and then also when Goku kept bugging him to train, like that was when we saw that he was getting irritated and shit.
Yeah,
Like
when he bit Whis, that was pretty funny. I was like, damn, he really caught him off guard. Like, That was some whole shit though. How you
And
gonna
you know, speaking of laughing, like Whist's laugh is just like the happiest shit. Perp, like,
right?
like it just seemed like when Whis laughs, it feels so genuine. Like you, like this dude is just he is really happy. Like you
Exactly.
giving him like the right tasting food is like his reaction to food is like what humans would give you the reactions of when they win the lottery or something. He has that
Right.
kind of reaction to food. So I'm like that. I thought that was cool. So basically, kind of more or less like Piccolo, like him just being him is why I like him.
Mm,
Yeah. So
interesting.
that would be my top six. And then did you do your sixth one yet or?
Nah, my six will be Beerus, just to
All
counter
right.
that. Um, and I like Beerus because he is a really goofy ass character, but like when he's introduced, he's doing it, and it's so ironic that he's a cat and he's doing cat like things. Like when he first wakes up, he's sitting there like just licking his paws or something like that, or he's always sleeping a lot. That's why it makes sense for his character to be super lazy, because cats are
Right.
just lazy in general.
Yeah,
And
they just be chilling. Yeah.
and him able to just sneeze and destroy like whatever those were, the clock things, whatever, or blow a hole through his house or something like that was crazy. Like I
Yeah.
really like his personality. It's very different. It's something that Dragon Ball definitely needed. Like that one character that's like all powerful, but he to me, like Beerus is, he likes to play mind games with people. Like he means well, but he won't hesitate to destroy you if he
Yeah, he's an
feels like it.
asshole. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
remember,
pretty much.
remember when those people were scrambling to make him a bunch of food, and then he
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, it tastes good," but it was like too salty or some shit, and
yeah,
like too greasy or whatever, and then he like blew up half the planet. Remember that shit?
yeah. That shit was hilarious. I'll just blow up half this play.
Yo, perp, like, man, that has to be the damnedest thing, man. Like, cause I feel like what's good and what's too salty and greasy is all like dependent on the person.
Hmm.
And I feel like anyone else like would have been like, this shit is perfect and it would have been no problem. But like Beerus is so particular and he's good at he's like Gordon Ramsay and shit, basically. Like this motherfucker be like, this is too done, there's too much salt. Like he be breaking it down like that. So yeah,
Right.
like he definitely has some of Gordon Ramsay's traits. Like I'm just telling you. Yeah, all right, yep. And then all right, yep.
Um,
What are your
my favorite moments. It's obvious the Majin Buu and the Majin Buu pudding scene. That shit was hilarious.
oh yeah, yeah,
Like when I
yeah,
first
yeah.
saw that, I was like, "Oh shit, dog! This is perfect." Like that couldn't be better time. Like you
Yep, 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 yep.
got Boo like he don't give a fuck who Beerus is. Like
He generally doesn't care who anyone is. It's like
right,
Boo is one of those characters like, okay, he can technically get worried and scared and stuff, but generally
yeah.
speaking, like he'll just deal with you and then it's like in that moment then he'll be like, oh shit, but like offhand, like when he first meets you, he's just kind of like, I don't give a fuck. Like this is my food.
He licked all the pudding and stuff, so he couldn't get nothing.
dude, dude, like it was something about that, like you said, like how Beerus was like, hey, let me get one of those. Boo's like, hell no, it's my food. And then like you said, Boo licked them all, and then Beerus's reaction to that, and then everybody's reaction to Beerus's reaction.
Yeah, and that goes into my next favorite part from him is when like he literally fights all the Z Warriors and stuff and just takes everybody out and shit. Slaps
Yep,
Bulma, which was crazy
yeah.
too, and
Hey,
made Vegeta like slightly stronger than Goku in a split second.
that shit was priceless because Goku kept messing with him about that. Like, damn, Vegeta, like, wasn't until Beerus slapped the shit out of Bowman. Like,
That shit,
Goku can be an asshole sometimes, Ferb. I know you noticed that shit. Like,
yeah,
but it's like because Goku means well, he's like that rare asshole. Like it's a combination of like, okay, there's a lot of innocence, but it's like Goku, like, I don't think like how much this is bothering somebody. Like
exactly.
like
That shit.
you this man.
And then I would say Yeah, all of Beerus's moments, like with like the Battle of Gods, is probably like all my favorite moments from that. And even the little line he does in the Tournament of Power, where he thinks Goku's gone, and then he feels his presence, and he's like, he's coming.
Hey,
That's or and then another moment is where he goes to one of the Zamasus. I forget. I think it's the Zamasu in the past or something. Like they rewind time, the current Zamasu or some shit, and he Hakai's Zamasu. He's like, "Don't
yeah,
get cocky," and just like just takes him out. That was epic. He has a lot of epic moments.
yeah. What about what about how scared him and his brother were of Zeno? Like, like remember that shit? Like the fact of how scared they were. Like, pow, pow, he's coming. Like, there's like it was just something about that. I'm like, okay, without knowing the Zeno dude, like the fact that they're acting like that must mean he is stupid strong. I mean, stupid strong. Like, because I mean,
Yeah,
they're-
and like how Goku acts all nonchalant, like, "What's up, Zenchan?" Like,
yeah,
he's
that
like, "Don't
that
fall
that shit
back."
is just
And
no.
that's another thing that's weird about the dub. They call him Zenny or some shit.
Oh, Zenny.
Yeah, he calls him
I
Zenny in
think
the dub.
I think yeah, okay. I forgot what they called him, but yeah, like, huh.
That was weird. I like Zenchan. Zenchan's funny as hell.
And Zeno, more or less, he's also one of those. I don't like the term harmless when somebody could fuck your shit up, but
He could
I
erase
don't
the
because
whole
to
entire
me,
universe.
yeah, I'm like because to me, like I understand why humans say harmless and I get why they say it, but it's like because to me, I take harmless as this person ain't about nothing, but I know. See, I even though I don't like it, I know that when humans say it, they just mean that you're not bad. You're not going to go out of your way to hurt
Right,
somebody. So it doesn't necessarily mean weakness or non-threatening per se, but to me it's a misrepresentation of a person like a Zeno or somebody like that for you just to say that. You know what I
hmm
mean?
right,
Yeah. So I just wanted to clear that up because I feel like again understanding what the person means, but it's just I just don't really like how it's used a lot of times.
right. Yeah, yeah. Beerus is a dope character. That was a really good, saying. I think that's a fair like top six. I
Oh
think
yeah,
every
yeah,
I think
definitely.
everybody's favorite character is Vegeta though. That's a no brainer.
Man, I don't know, man. Like there's a lot of Goku fans out there, man. They be on it, man. They be like, no, Goku's the best. He's the strongest. Nobody's better. And look at all of his accomplishments. I'm like,
Exactly.
don't get me into those conversations about his accomplishments. I'm like,
Right.
don't.
If he was by himself those whole times, that like if he was by himself fighting Jiren, it would just it'd be a wrap. Like if everybody got eliminated, it was just Goku. The universe that would be done.
Because who would have given him? Who would have gave him energy?
All right.
Like it just like you have to look at all the situation. Like, okay, him by himself, he wouldn't have got energy for a spirit bomb. He wouldn't have got the motivation to turn into a Super Saiyan. He wouldn't have got the energy to beat Jiren. He wouldn't have had a son to fight Cell for him. Like, I mean, like he wouldn't have beat Raditz because he had the whole Raditz so Piccolo could beat him. I mean, like almost every saga, the planet would have been destroyed because Goku don't have no help. Just
Right.
think about that. It's literally every single saga.
Yeah. The power of
That's a
friendship.
damn shame, Perp. Like it's literally every single saga. Like not counting any like chiller moments when there are no stakes. I'm talking about like any of the big major arcs and shit. Like this fool needed help every time.
Yeah, that's why I said I feel like that's why they gave him Ultra Instinct because with Ultra Instinct, yeah, he's pretty much like he's good. But if he can't tap into that, then it's just like he don't got none. He don't got none.
Yeah. See, that's the reason why like I was like, man, go Superman would stomp the shit out of Goku because there's a difference between someone that can be something with special circumstances versus somebody
Hmm.
that just is. There ain't no
Yeah.
circumstances. You just
I,
are
I
that shit.
still think I still think it would be an interesting fight though. Because
With
if Goku Yeah, if Goku's able to like, if Superman beats the shit out of Goku to the point where he's able to tap into Ultra Instinct, then it'll probably be a pretty interesting fight.
But see, that's the thing though. That would be more of Dragon Ball writing where it's dragged
Mm,
out. Because I'm like,
yeah.
if it's a fight to the death and Superman completely 100% unforgiving wants to kill Goku, I'm like, there's no reason why he can't just one shot him and be death. Like, why is he hitting Goku so much to where he's getting to these points? Like, I'm just like that wouldn't happen like that because Superman is as strong as he needs to be. Like that is
Right.
just so unforgiving, like with that kind of power.
I agree.
Yeah, so like I think that for the sake of an entertaining fight, you would want it to drag out, but at that point, from my perspective, it would be unrealistic. And if they write it to where Goku wins, that's only because it was being dragged out a certain way. I'm like, that's not really how that would go. Like if you're telling me that he wants to murder this character, like I don't like I'm like Superman, like, normally that's not in his character to flat out murder. Like he can get to that point, but it has to be really extreme. But again, if you're telling me from the get-go, these are the rules, it's a fight to the death, and both these people are trying to kill each other, and I'm like, well, that word is what bothers me. When you say that Superman is trying to kill someone, I'm like, why does he have to try? Like this person has to be like just stupid powerful for me to be in a position where I believe that Superman is trying and he just can't do it. You know what I mean? Like I just that doesn't normally happen. It's just more of like when is Superman gonna decide to do something? Because even with Doomsday, it was like, okay, yeah, for the time being, Doomsday is more powerful than him, but if Superman stops being afraid and realizes that he can't reason with this dude, then he'd be in a better spot.
Hmm.
So Superman's weakness is his, aside from kryptonite, like his weaknesses are his emotions and his strong tie to humanity and morals. Like that's his biggest weakness.
Right.
Because you can exploit something like that, even Goku from a fighting standpoint, that this guy is going to only do things in a last resort. But again, though, all that goes out the window when he has decided 100% that he's going to murder you.
Yeah. Look what he did to Zod.
Right, and in that situation, it was like a freak out kind of move. It wasn't even calculated. And
Hmm.
you also take in consideration that Superman was a beginner at that movie. He learned how to fly in that same movie that he fought Zod. That was all in the same movie. And
Mm.
like Zod, when he went to Earth and his senses got exposed and he was hearing everything all at once, it took him seconds to master what took Kal-El like some years and shit to really get it under control.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed
So
that.
so yeah, that's why I'm like, holy shit. And it's like from a technical standpoint, I'm like, Zod actually has countless years of fighting experience to where Kal-El has none. Like
Right.
stopping a bus from crashing is not fighting experience. Like you can't, like I knew when I was watching that that's not the Superman with the hands on his hips and stuff because he doesn't know how to fly yet. How are you going to be that when you don't know how to fly? Like you just barely learned the basics. Flying is considered to be a basic thing amongst superheroes that can fly. Like that's like that shit that you learn in the earlier stages, and then comes the fighting, and then going to other planets, whatever, whatever. But that's more of like a phase one kind of thing, learning how to fly.
Right.
So for Superman to be able to, more or less accidentally do something that he wasn't really wanting and trying to do, like it was like a panic thing because Zod destroyed the entire city, which is countless millions, and then he was gonna burn a family to death. And it's like, you got those humans like, well, we could have just flew him straight in the air. And then once he did that, Zod could have went right back down and killed them after that. Because
Right.
it's like you all like those humans don't think about the whole situation. I'm like, you're only delaying the inevitable. Like Superman is gonna fly him, and Zod could just go right back and do the same thing, or he can just go to all the many cities on Earth and do the same thing. Like, I mean, it's not like there was kryptonite there. You can't just lock him away because as soon as he wakes up, he'll just break out because nothing's gonna be able to contain him.
Right, right.
Like it's not like the Earth has been exposed to Kryptonians for countless years and stuff, and they've had much time to prepare for dealing with the Kryptonian. They didn't even know how to deal with Superman. That was also in that same movie. So I feel like you just had a lot of humans overlooking details and not really understanding how Superman or Zod works. Like they just have the one thing in their mind that they want to see, which makes them biased for that one thing, and they're automatically dismissing everything else because it doesn't match up to that one thing. I'm like, that's
Mm,
not even fair. You're not even analyzing this for what it is because you're already like, this is not good or this wouldn't happen. I'm like, this wouldn't happen with what you're talking about, but with these circumstances, it would happen. Like this is the same character. It's just a different side of the same character. It's all accurate. It's just something that, a lot of people weren't accustomed to. So it just felt too different. But I'm like, this isn't wrong. You may not like it, but it's not
hmm.
wrong.
Right.
So yeah, it's just I feel like the more that a person knows about like an anime character or a comic book character, the more of a wholesome conversation you can have aside
Right.
from it's good or it's bad or I didn't
Hmm.
like that. It's like that's too limited. Like you can tell that the person doesn't really have a full knowledge or understanding of that character, which makes the conversations less interesting. I'm like, okay. And then even if they don't know, if they're willing to listen, because I'm like, okay, you
Yeah.
don't know, so why not? How come you're unwilling to listen to someone that does know so they can teach you? You know what I'm saying? Like, perp, like you can just apply that to areas in life. You know what I mean?
Like right.
Like
It's
you like say you're
it's like learning a
yeah,
job or something like that. Like compared to somebody that has like 5 years experience to somebody that has like 2 year, like 1 year experience or like 6 months of experience and whatnot.
exactly. Like yeah, like perp, your car breaks down. Here I come on the road, like, hey man, I can help you fix it because it's like connected to whatever, whatever, whatever. And then you're like, nah, like that don't match what I like. I'm like, how does that make any sense? Like I'm like, I get what you like, but if I'm like, this is the ins and outs of this, maybe you can look at it this way and then you'd be better off. And you like, nah. Like, I'm like, all right, fine. Like the best that I can do, because even with you, like you would talk to me about certain animes and like I wouldn't know shit about it. Like the best that
Yeah.
I can do is go, you know what, perp, I'm either I don't like it or I do, or that's as far as I can go. I can't be like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
Bobby Totem was raised by the wolves and then he moved to this planet. I'm like, I ain't gonna know none of that shit.
Right, right. Because that's why I usually talk about things that I think you'd be interested in based off of like what you
Yeah.
like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you like comic books, I'd be like, yeah, My Hero Academia is right up your alley. Or if you like, because I see you like Hellraiser, so like Hellraiser and like, did you like Game of Thrones or did you follow Game of Thrones? No.
I didn't like Game of Thrones. Like
All
I've seen like I want to say 3 episodes from beginning to end and like it just I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get
yeah,
into it. It was like I
but
the one thing I kept feeling the whole way was that I was incredibly bored. Like there's a difference between me going like, "Oh, this is fun,"
I
but
feel you.
I don't care to see the whole show, but I was bored, perp. Like I
I
was
feel
thinking
you that
about suicide. I was so bored.
the first two seasons were definitely a drag. So like yeah, I don't think you would have if you thought 3 episodes were boring, like but
Like
like
that's one thing I
my
don't want to be, perp. I don't want to be bored. The
mhm,
material can be bad, but as long as I'm entertained, I'm not upset.
right, right. But like um that's why I make that comparison. The thing I always have like shows
Oh,
that
shit.
are a
Oh,
lot
I gotta say this real quick, perp. Not
oh
to say
sorry.
that Game of Thrones is bad for anybody listening. That's not what I mean. But yeah, continue.
but I always like make a comparison like for every anime that's out there you could compare it to like a show that's on television now like I compare Attack on Titan to Game of Thrones to some extent, but Attack on Titan is everything that Game of Thrones should have been as far as how they deliver action, story, and characters. They don't spend too much time on certain things. They just, it moves fairly quickly.
Yeah,
And
see, like I feel like so many humans that would hear you say that would want to burn you at the stake because you have to keep in mind that Game of Thrones is the greatest show of all time.
supposedly,
Yeah, I don't agree with that in the slightest. Like
that's what I'm
to
saying.
me,
Like,
no, no, hell no. Like the only way I would find reasonable would be like if somebody says if they say it's like in their top 20 shows of all time, I could see
yeah,
that. But like as far as it being the best out of everything that has ever been, I'm like, nah, nah, nah. There's no
yeah.
way.
I don't mind people saying, "Oh, it's in my top 10." I was like, "That's cool. It's not in my top 10."
Hell nah. It's not even in my top 20. It's not even in
Right,
my top 50 because, when I do my rankings, like bear in mind there's a huge difference between and is this list based on quality or is it based on what I like?
right.
So when I put my list together of my top whatever it is, it's only based off of how much I like it, not so much me saying this is the best, whatever it is. I'm like, no, this is how I feel about it. So as far as I'm concerned, if I do a top 50 TV show list off of what I like, it won't even make the list because I don't like it at all.
Right.
It wouldn't be there.
I could agree with that.
So
And
that
I
just
give it a
yeah.
chance. I was watching the show as a non-fan, so like I felt it was more interesting to watch as a person that's not like super attached to these characters. I was just watching it to see like to pretty much dissect it in a way. Like because it's just like these characters are really bland. There's a lot of cool characters that they have, but they push too much of their trash characters. It's just I don't know.
Hey, but remember, Perp, all the characters are just perfect, and like you got to
Right.
see more of them. They all deserve their own movies and
It's
spinoffs
it
and everything.
it's next level writing.
I have never seen a show to where so many people say that everything about it is great and that every character deserves all this attention. Like, because with most shows, it's more of like something like, oh, yeah, I like this or this season more than this one, or I like this character more than this one. You'll find something that sounds normal. But with Game of Thrones, like, it's great, it's great, it's great, it's great, that's great, that's greater. I'm like,
Right.
I, I have I don't know. It don't. I feel like there are some where I can believe it, and others where I'm like, are you on the
Yeah.
train of people that's saying it's great, or do you
And
really feel like that?
I'll give Game of Thrones its credit when like certain things happen, but they're pretty much copy and pasting books at this point, so it's like they don't really try to remix certain things like a show like The Walking Dead, where they have to like remix certain people's stories and
Yeah,
stuff and
they've been
whatnot.
doing that a while, like because, like you said, like copy and paste is safe and it could be great, but it's like
Mm.
if you can, twist something or squeeze something in that's new and have it work, then
And
that's really creative. Like
it,
I'm
and
like, damn, I give you some props.
it backfired on them because once they ran out of books, they had to go off the top of the head, and it didn't work out that well. It didn't go as planned. That wasn't the one, Chief. That
That
wasn't the
is
one.
that is funny as fuck because it's like I've heard Game of Thrones fans, mind you. Now, bear in mind, this has also never happened before. Over 1 million humans signed a petition to redo the entire season. Not not
That's not
not
how
not.
TV works.
Not it's not how TV works, but it's like it's not so much that is of the notion that it's gonna work per se. It's just
Hmm.
how many humans feel that way. Like
Right.
to me, petitions, like they most of the time they're never going to do anything, but it's like there's nothing like making something more possible because of the number of people, at least in terms of drawing attention to it. Like numbers, they get attention. Numbers always get attention. It doesn't
Right.
mean it's going to get you what you want, but when you have almost 2 million humans that are like redo this entire season, like not the finale, the whole season. I'm
That's
like,
that's how that's how you can tell your show is trash when they tell you to redo a whole season. Like I've
yes,
never seen that. I've never
I've
seen that.
never seen it either. Like I've never seen like bear in mind like too that that's only the ones that decided to sign that. There's way more out there that feel like that too. So off of the petition alone, you can say without batting an eye that there are millions of humans that want you to redo your entire last season. Per like I don't care whatever show you name. Like cuz even if you have like a divisive season of a show that's went off the air, right?
Mm.
It's still not to this degree. I've never heard of that. It's like you get people like, "Yay, I liked it," and then some that don't, like, I would have did it differently, but they're more or less fine with it. But I'm talking about there's been pure hatred for this last season. Like, how dare you? I'm gonna kick down your door, burn down your house.
It's so
Like this
extra.
shit is, yeah, this shit is serious. Like
Right.
the only thing that's missing is a bomb threat, which is what happened with the original Star Trek series when they took it off the air. They threatened to blow up the studio, and then they apparently just did another season to stop from getting murdered. That's the only thing that's missing. But this whole like campaign is still extra. Like it's still going. Apparently, like they're not gonna stop. Like they're very serious.
Like
I feel like they're gonna be humans at those conventions, perp trying to do that shit.
I give Game of Thrones props for creating a huge fan base, getting becoming as big as it has. I respect it for that.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
even though I
I
don't really
respect Game of
like
Thrones.
the show, I respect it for what it's done. Like it definitely became something huge and to like where you see it like everywhere. Like they even do it with basketball, like doing skits at NBA games, and you see it everywhere and
Oh
stuff. And
yeah, I definitely respect Game of Thrones. I just don't like it. See, I'm able to do it like that. I can still recognize things even if I don't like it. Like I can do that. Because otherwise I could just be like, nope, trash, next, and then it just be that simple. But like I understand, like I can still be honest even if it doesn't appeal to my person. But I what is it? So all right, so what are your top five animes like shows?
oh, animes right now.
Yeah, like just in general, like your top five.
Okay, yeah, I could do my top five that I like right now that I fuck with heavy. Um, Obviously Attack on Titan because y'all see me talk about that shit so many times. K Dot knows. I don't know if Revis knows. I don't know if Revis watches Attack on Titan, but people that watch Attack on Titan know how lit that show is. Um, Number two, I'd probably put The Promised Neverland. That's like a shonen. It's a different type of shonen kind of horror. Very interesting shit. My number three would have to be Rise of the Shield Hero. That has its like that medieval vibe to it, but it's also takes takes certain elements of like RPG games.
Excuse me.
Um, then my number four would be My Hero Academia because like that's kind of I would say that kind of filled in when Dragon Ball's not on. That kind of fills that spot for me, and like I think that's the closest thing you can get to a Dragon Ball Z as far as like how Dragon Ball Z was, how it had a really it balanced a good story with action and stuff, also with like
Right,
superhero elements to it. You
right,
know,
right.
Attack on Titan's shonen too, but that's a whole different type of shonen, so I wouldn't really compare those two. But yeah, my number four is My Hero Academia. Then my five would be. I want to say right now, just because it's like fresh on my mind, reincarnated as a slime. But I feel like that's going to change once I see Fire Force because Fire Force looks dope. It's the people that made Soul Eater is doing this. I was like, yo, sign me up. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much my top five right there. But what's your top five?
Um, I'm working on the fifth one, but my top four right now, while I think about my number five, like number one would be Dragon Ball Z.
Mm,
Um, everything with the characters, all the action, the fighting, and also the mental kind of training that goes along with it, like all the all the preps to make your mind and body stronger, and how much these characters literally focus on this. Like this is their existence. They're not doing typical things like, oh man, I need to, figure out my 9 to 5. I need to go to school, and like they're just like, if it ain't training, it don't mean shit. Cause like,
Right.
cause at the end of the day, also aside from that being a lifestyle that one can do in real life, in the context of these characters, like they're responsible for saving the planet on many occasions. Like
Right.
for all the humans that may look down at them for doing that, it's like, well, you wouldn't be able to go to your job or go to your fancy ass school if the planet is blown the fuck up. Like you can't do it.
Hmm.
So, I like it because of all of that. And then number two would be Death Note. That was something where it was like I thought the concept was intriguing, but I didn't really realize how much I was gonna like it until like I actually watched it. It was like after, I think it was by like the first, maybe the second episode, where I was like, I'm watching the rest of this. Like like it was
So
that fast. So
your number one is Dragon Ball, and your number two is what?
Death Note.
Death Note. All right, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
Death Note, like it, because it was like I heard about it from my friend because he has like all the mangas and stuff. So he was talking to me about it before, and I had never watched it. He had shown me like a couple pieces of it with Ryuk and
Hmm.
everything. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I never got into it. And then it was like when the Netflix movie came out and stuff, like, I was like, oh, this is the anime that my friend watches that he really likes. So because I watch movies in general, whatever I come across, I was like, all right, yeah, let me see what's up with this. And I watched it, and then I was like, eh, I'm like, this is all right. I like William Defoe as this Ryuk guy. And then I was, and then there was like some scenes where between Light and L,
Hmm.
like where I thought like some of the dialogue exchange was pretty good, but like the movie as a whole, though, I was like, I'm like, I feel like it's a
They try to
waste.
turn they try to turn it into a love story, which is not the love story.
Right, right. See, but I didn't know that though. But like when I
Yeah.
when I was judging it as a movie though, I was like, as a movie, it's all right. It's kind of flat in the sense that they don't really expand upon the stuff that I felt would have given the movie intensity.
Hmm.
So, and then like that was as far as I could go because I at the time I couldn't speak on any of the anime or the mangas or nothing. Like I can only grade it as a movie. So I even said in my review, I'm like, I think this is all right, but like if like, a fan of the anime is like this is trash, like I feel like I'm not inclined to disagree with them that much only because like from my perspective, when I know something, like I would do the same thing. Like for
Hmm.
me, it would be two different scores. I'd be like, all right, like this is what I would rate it when I think about it next to the source material, and then this is what I would rate it by separating that. Like without that, like how does this hold up
Okay.
as a show, or as a movie?
So
So
it's like you have both sides of the story type of situations.
correct. Like, and that to me, that would be the fair way to analyze something that you are a fan of going into initially. That you look at both sides. Like, if you were not a fan, how would you judge this as a show or movie? Does it qualify as something good or not? Because something can be inaccurate, but it can still be a great movie. But because it's inaccurate, you would just have preferences of how you wished it would have played out, kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So Death Note, like when I watched the anime and then I ended up watching the Japanese films like Death Note 1 and 2, which very closely followed the anime.
Yep.
And then you had the third Death Note movie, which was centered around L. And I thought that was really good because it focused on him and like he was like dying and shit like that. So I thought that was cool. And then like, um, yeah, that was cool. And then there was like a fourth one, which I thought was horseshit. Like that was so bad. But
But that
uh,
made you get into the actual anime,
the movies,
while watching the Netflix shit and then watching the movies. That did that get into?
like what happened was like when I watched the Netflix movie, I decided to watch the anime after that because like when
Okay.
I was listening to, because I went to listen to like reviews from actual fans of Death Note, and how much they hated the movie, and then they were talking about the show, and then I was like, oh, okay, and then I was kind of remembering what my friend said about the show, and I was like, all right, I'll give it like, I set up a number. I was like, I'm gonna give it 6 episodes, and if I'm not like by episode 6, if I don't give a fuck, then I'm done. But I want to at least kind of see what they're talking about. So
Right.
it must have been after episode 1 or 2 when I had made the decision to watch the rest, and then also seek out the Japanese movies, which after watching the anime, the Japanese movies, specifically the first like 2 and then the third one, they look just like the anime in a way to where,
Mm.
now that I had that knowledge, I was like, damn, this Netflix movie in terms of accuracy is just horseshit. Like this is not. I was like, this is not like, because you have to keep in mind that I started the opposite way. I watched the American movie first, and then I watched
Yeah.
the anime, and then I watched the Japanese film. So
That's
I did
that's an
that
interesting way to go about it though. Like that's a really interesting way to go about it though.
right, because like when I was telling other individuals like anime fans and or like individuals that specifically like Death Note, they're just like, they're like, that's not normally how people do it, like in terms of like, being so backwards, and then somehow you decided to watch the entire anime and then even watch the Japanese movie created from that. And I'm like, well, with me, it's different for a lot of things, because like I like to watch a lot of stuff, and
Hmm.
if there are movies and stuff connected, it's like by default I would want to get to the movies. The show was like, well, shows take a long time to watch, so like I
Yeah.
have to really be down to give it all my time. But like my process was so backwards, so it was just like I thought it was interesting. By the time I was done, like I didn't start with the mangas or the anime. It was like the American movie to the anime to the Japanese movies. Like yeah, so that's my number 2, and then my number 3 is Cowboy Bebop. You know, to me, like that was like one of the coolest animes that I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in
'Cause-
a while, but I vaguely remember certain things. But I
yeah,
cause
it
I
was
watched
like,
that when I was younger. Like I watched that when I was like a teenager and shit. Like.
yeah, like, yeah, me too. It was like when I was a teenager, but because I mean, for someone like me that's not like an anime fan, um, I like I told you, like I'm open to certain things as long as it like appeals to me, but
Hmm.
Um, for someone that's not an anime fan like myself, I've seen quite a bit. Like for someone that would say I'm not a
Yeah,
fan per se, like
you
I've seen quite a bit.
you've seen pretty much like some of the top tier animes there that's been out
Right.
there.
Yeah, I like even like stuff from Akira to Ghost in the Shell. So like you said, it's just interesting because I've had conversations with some other like actual anime fans, like some of my friends, and like
Hmm.
they're like, wait, how are you like not a fan, but then you seen like Akira and Ghost in the Shell and They're like, how the fuck did that happen? They're like it's almost like you found out which ones are popular and you just only watch those, but then it's like a large list. I'm like, look, for me, like it really just comes down to, did I like how it looked, and did I like read the synopsis and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like that's more or less what got me. Like, okay, got the animation, character seemed cool, the synopsis intrigued me, and then that's how that happened. Um, so yeah, like the Cowboy Bebop, the Spike, and the whole crew and the bounty hunting and all that. Like I thought it was cool, and the intro was fire. Like so much
Hmm.
fire that it lit me on fire when I was listening to that shit. Like that shit
The,
was
the
dope.
the fight choreography and stuff like that was on
Yeah,
point.
yeah, and then also that movie Cowboy Bebop was dope too. Yep.
Hmm.
So,
It's gonna be interesting to
um,
see what they do with this live action TV
I
movie, whatever the fuck they're doing with it.
I really don't want them to make it like, but and that naturally I'm gonna watch it because I'd be too
Yeah,
curious
just to
not
give
to.
it a chance.
But I think at the very least, if it's not extremely accurate, like the one thing I should come out saying is it was entertaining. Like if I'm like, man, this shit was inaccurate, it was boring. Because I'm
Like
like that's the least job. A movie is supposed to be entertaining, perp. Like that better be
right.
the least thing that you fucking do is entertain me.
And I feel like they're going to change what's her name? Faye's character.
Like what do you think they're gonna do?
Like they're not going to make her so revealing just because of like
Oh
the way
god.
things are. They might give her like yellow pants or some shit, and her ass is fat as hell or some shit.
That
I'll be
is
cool.
some cheap ass shit. Like I'm like you. Oh man, that is so fucking cheap. Like we're just gonna give her some gold pants. I'm like, man. Sometimes stuff like that it irritates me. I'm like, at this point, just give her completely different clothes because I feel like you're just gonna
Right.
remind me of the stuff that should be there, but you did some cheap ass shit like
Yeah,
that.
because she definitely, yo, if they stick to the to the source material where how she looks, like
Yeah.
that'd be amazing. They gotta get somebody that's busty, yo. They gotta get a chick that's
Yeah, like
stick around.
the only way I would be forgiving of just gold pants is if like it's like tight leather and like her ass moves with it every time she walks type shit. Like
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
only
yeah.
way. But if it's just like gold pants and then nothing else, like
She can't have she can't have latex pants and have a Brie Larson ass. Like,
right,
that
no,
shit's
no, 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 no,
nasty.
no. Like I'm like that doesn't work without it having the ass and the legs to complement it. Like especially the ass, like because like a chick can have like small legs, but if she has the ass, then it still works
Right,
with the pants because you can see it. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
It's just the legs would just fill out the legs more, but the backside is the
Yeah,
ass. Like, because
it's
she can
gonna
have
be
the full legs, but not have the ass, and then it's just
it,
like,
it,
well,
it's
damn.
it's gonna be interesting to see who they cast for that. It's gonna
Right,
be really
right.
interesting.
Well, how do you
They're
feel
gonna.
about humans saying Keanu Reeves should be Spike? Like,
I mean, I guess because I heard that like a while ago before they
yep,
even there was rumors of a
years,
movie,
some
but yeah,
years, yeah.
but I guess because I mean, he fits his, if he slimmed down a little bit, I guess he would look a lot like Spike. He doesn't necessarily have to have the same hair as Spike,
Right.
but
He gonna have a John Wick here.
he,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I don't want him to have because I mean, Spike wears a suit as well, right? And we've seen that John Wick wears a suit. So you like they need to make because Spike has like that yellow shirt or whatever, like that he wears that John Wick doesn't, and he doesn't have a tie. So like they can't just make him look like John Wick, but he happens to be in Cowboy Bebop. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
unless if they like cut his hair and shit, bitches will go crazy anyways. Like they cut his hair, like I had this hair look like in the Matrix, how Neo's hair was cut short and stuff.
right, like it would be
Yeah.
like that, and then slightly longer, and then you kind of use a little bit of gel to kind of put
I
it
would have
like with
I would have picked the dude from the raid, the dude that plays the main character in the raid, but he's still coming up and whatnot.
yeah,
So
he's
I guess
he's yeah, and this it like he can talk, but it's like Spike
yeah,
talks a lot, so that wouldn't like
right, right, right.
it would
You know,
hinder the film, like in terms of like any sort of dramatic
they,
kind of elements. So
and the guy that they went with Spike now, like he's pretty well known for the most part. So
yeah, like Spike has to have like that charisma and that assholishness all rolled into one. Like it's gotta so yeah, you definitely gotta have someone that can, act. Like
right.
and that could be badass. Like they have to have more or less the whole package, like with Spike. But
So what's your fourth?
um, my fourth is Afro Samurai.
Good
Um,
choice.
because I mean, like number one is voiced by Samuel Jackson. He's doing both him and Ninja Ninja, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool. Like Samuel Jackson involved with anything catches my attention because it was like I'm trying to remember how I found out. Like I forget if I forget if I found out on my own or if someone like brought it to my attention, but like it was like, okay, this dude looks cool and oh, Samuel Jackson's doing the voice, and then it was like the RZA did the music for it and shit. So it was like the soundtrack was always lit.
Yeah.
And then it was like the whole thing. Okay, like I like how it looks. The music is by the RZA. We all know how that goes if you heard the Wu-Tang Clan and shit. Like so there's that. And then this whole thing about, he has to get the number one headband and something happened to his dad. I'm like, that all sounds dope. So because of how much I love the martial arts film genre and how many countless films and stuff that I've seen, and then like you got the kung fu TV show, and then I remember Walker Texas Ranger for a little while. Like anything where the main character was doing martial arts a lot or was centered around a martial arts based like kind of element, I was
Hmm.
all over that. So I'm like, that's cool. And his character was just so like the way he moved and stuff. There was a there was a calmness, but there was a danger element to it. Like and with a lot of humans, like they don't know about like chi and aura kind of stuff. Like
Hmm.
they would more or less describe it as something else, but at the best they might say something like I don't know what it was, but I could feel something with this person, but they wouldn't necessarily equate it to like, oh, this person has a strong aura or
Yeah, like
something
and
like that.
take like a show like Bleach. They call like instead of key, they call it spiritual pressure.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
See, there you go. Like the best way to say it is they wouldn't be able to articulate what they're feeling
Hmm.
and seeing. They can't
Right.
articulate it. So, you know, that character Afro, he had that about him, and I'm like, this dude has a lot of discipline. He gonna get that number one headband. He gonna fill out. He gonna find out who offed his dad and everything. And I'm like, this is just cool. Like this is cool. This is badass. And it was so short, and it was short and sweet, and it pissed me off because I wanted it to be a longer show. And
Hmm.
when they did that Afro Samurai Resurrection, that movie, which kind of took beats from the show, but then they kind of expanded upon it.
Hmm.
Like I thought that was dope. So yeah, like to me, the whole entire concept of Afro Samurai feel is just great. And you know, in terms of a live action movie, I'm like, you know, you can make that work in a way that most animes probably wouldn't translate well
Hmm.
because all you have to do is you have to understand that okay, you're gonna have a movie centered around a great swordsman. We've seen movies about swordsmen before.
Hmm.
We've seen shows and movies where a person imagines that somebody is there talking to them for some kind of emotional support, you know, for whatever reason. In his case, he lost his dad and all this other stuff. You know, so
Hmm.
we've seen that before. So it's not like the masses haven't seen that, right? So you
Yeah.
got that, you know, you got a kid that saw his dad get murdered. You know, we've seen stuff where kids watch friends and family die, you know, whether it be Bruce Wayne seeing his parents get killed or whatever somebody wants to coin, that's familiar as well. So the ins and outs of Afro Samurai are not to the point to where it's considered weird to where people won't understand it. The
Okay. Yeah.
concept is the concept is very simple in the sense like okay, you got a boy lost his dad. You got these headbands. If you have the number one headband, you're the most badass motherfucker on the
And,
planet.
and there's not that many characters in that they really show off in Afro Samurai, so that would
Exactly.
be easy
Like yeah,
too.
and the ones that do pop up, they're either drunks or they're other martial artists or swordsmen. You got
Hmm.
one guy that had a rocket launcher or whatever, RPG, whatever, and
Yeah.
you know that's something that people have seen before too. So the show itself doesn't have a lot of weird elements that would turn people away.
Hmm.
And Samuel Jackson you know, he can be Ninja, and you can just cast a younger guy to be Afro to be able to do all the flipping and all the maneuvers that would complement the character.
Hmm.
So Samuel Jackson being Ninja, and somebody like another black actor up and coming, and you got the fight scenes on point and stuff like that can
Yeah.
have a certain kind of appeal. Like if nothing else, like humans be like, oh, it's Samuel Jackson. Like you know, we check it out, and then the fans would be like that looks like Afro Samurai. Like, let's go and see that. So, like, I feel like it's one of the ones where it's easier to translate in terms of adaptation. Like,
The dude from Luke Cage that played Bushmaster,
yeah.
I can see him. Is he British?
That's a good question. I found out recently, but I fucking forgot.
Yeah,
I
but like
forgot.
I could see Bushmaster. I could see him as I
Afro.
could see, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that too. Like, in fact, I think that him and and Samuel Jackson as Ninja would really complement each other. I feel like that would work. Like to me, I think because like I don't say this often because like to me the best on screen chemistry, meaning like where you have two actors going back and forth to where they're both so great, you can't really say which one is the best one. Like to me, to this day, like in terms of two beast mode performances that rely on bouncing off of one another, would be Face Off with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage.
Mm, right.
Never seen that again. Like, cause like in, some people might be like, "What do you mean? There's been other great movies." I'm like, I didn't say there aren't great movies. I'm talking about two great performances that rely on both being great. Like, if Nicolas Cage would have sucked and John Travolta would have been good, the movie wouldn't have worked because both
Hmm.
of those characters are off the wall, and it relies on both of them being convincing every time they're on screen together. This one pretending to be that one, this one's upset that he's taken his life and shit. Like you have both of them have to work. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like with other movies, you've had other ones too, but to me that was more of like this requires a lot of emotional depth from both of them. Like other times with movies, it's like I'll see that one person is better than everybody else, or this person is great, and these people they do just enough. But it was like I haven't seen like I said with Face Off with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta like ever again. Because even like with something like The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger was better than everybody else in the movie. Like it's just that simple.
Hmm.
Like I mean, everybody else was good, but he was just so much greater. So like I'm saying, like Heath Ledger would have been like his performance was like the equivalent of a John Travolta or Nicolas Cage in a face-off scenario, except that he
Hmm.
didn't have another person to really compliment him in that way. He was so much better. So that's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of that. Like in like
Right.
Scarface with Al Pacino, he was the best thing in that movie. Even though everybody else did a good job, it was just like he was so damn impressive that you were like, holy crap. Like that's all I'm saying. I hope you get what I mean by
Yeah,
like I
I
haven't
feel.
seen that.
Yeah,
Like and
I feel.
then yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
yeah, so but anyway, so yeah, that there's that. And then my fifth one, mm,
You haven't seen Bleach, have you?
I've seen about 90 episodes of Bleach. Like
Oh yeah,
I
you gotta finish that joint.
like I like I was fine with it. It was like cuz I liked Chaz and Kimpachi like
Yeah,
more than
Kenpachi's dope.
anyone. Like so Kimpachi was my favorite and then Chaz, but um like everyone else I didn't care about at all. Like I was only ever waiting to see those two.
You would have
And
liked
then
you would have liked the Espada, like Aizen's crew and shit, a crew of people that he forms his own kind of like soul society type of,
yeah,
thing in
yeah,
hell.
probably so. Like I'm not denying that there's
Hmm.
other characters that I probably could have liked, but it's just like from episode 1 to 90, like everything was fine. Like I still found it entertaining because there's no way I would have watched 90 episodes if I was bored out of my mind.
Right.
Hell no. But no, but it was just more of like those two intrigued me more than everyone else that I had seen up until that point. That's all. Um,
Interesting.
but my number five, like I don't know if I have like a fifth one because there's other animes that I've seen, but I don't know if I would necessarily bump one to that position over the other ones. Like, um, I really liked Street Fighter 2 V. Like, I thought that was dope.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Um, I mean, I don't know if I'd say that's my number five, but I mean, hmm. I guess I'll put that as my number five only because even all the other ones I could kind of interchange them.
Hmm.
Um, like with that one, it was like, well, I love the Street Fighter games. Like used to play them when I was a kid. There was a few that I missed playing, like in the same way with Mortal Kombat, but I had played so many of them to where you would be able to make like 10 movies and I would know what's happening. Like it's just I would be able to approach a film from a fan perspective because I've had enough play with the video games.
Right.
Um, so with Street Fighter 2V, I like the whole Ryu and Ken going around the world and seeing what kind of beast fighters were out there. Like, hey, let's test our skills against this person. And Ken, being stupid rich, he was able to finance the whole thing. Like there was no limit. Like we could travel. We don't got to rush. We don't have to worry about holding back on the finances. Cause I got it like that. We get into a jam. I got it like that with the finances. Like he just had connections to different
Right.
government officials and shit. Like when Ryu was locked up, Ken was in a position where it was highly likely to get him out. Like that's what kind of money and connections Ken had. Like when it comes to somebody being your best friend, in a way, like when you take in consideration, obviously that they kind of grew up together in the training and stuff like that. Like aside from Ken being a really good and cool person, you know, that's like the best kind of friend that you can have, like someone that's that rich and that you're connecting well with, because
Hmm.
you literally can do whatever you want. Like you can go like we're gonna go here and there, and you don't have to worry about nothing. You can actually afford it, and there's no limit to it. You could do that every day if you wanted to, and you can mix it up, and you can have stuff delivered to you, or you can go to it. So Ryu um, was very fortunate in that sense because he was someone that didn't care about money, pretty much like how I do. I don't care about money. Like Ryu was all about the training, as I am. Like I'm very
Hmm.
passionate about like the mental and physical training that I do, and money is just something where sure it helps, and technically you need it according to humans, but like Ryu was just like, I just want you as a friend. Like the rest of this stuff is extra, and like I love their dynamic and just them going up against martial artists. Like I thought the show was awesome. So yeah, that'd be my top five. I guess like in terms of the fifth one, yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that's a solid list. I can agree with that. But I would say yeah, you should definitely dip your toes, pause in some of these new animes because I think you'll really like a lot of these newer ones. It took
I
a
gotta
while.
I gotta catch up on One Punch Man season two first, because like
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
I'm I,
And I'm surprised you're not into like Naruto, with the whole, ninja
man I
aspect.
like those clips that you show me are cool, but
Yeah,
when I
I feel
try
you.
to I when I try to watch, like to me Naruto, like it just it has moments that I can find intriguing, but it's like when I sit down and watch it, I never could get into it. Like it just I
I feel
felt
you.
like I should be
It
I
takes a minute. It takes
yeah,
a minute
see,
to get into.
see, I'm gonna have to pass on that one because I am like if it takes too
Hmm.
long, I'm like, nope. Like, and plus, like every time that I try to watch it, because there was like a couple years where I tried and I'm just like, like it kept making me want to watch what I think is better, which is Dragon Ball Z. Like that's what it kept
Hmm.
doing to me every time I watched it. I'm like, hmm. Because my friend, he like some of my friends, they prefer that to Dragon Ball, and it almost ended the friendship over that. But yeah,
But
like they,
I understand though, because it's different generations. Like our generation, we're more geared towards like Dragon Ball Z, but like people that are 10 years younger than us or just in their teens, I think they'll be more geared towards like growing up with Naruto. So it's like, you know, I think it's just like that generational thing.
see, and they wonder why riots start at conventions. Like I'm just saying, like yeah, oh, so you think you can just show up here with a Naruto shirt, huh? Like, oh, I'm a big fan. Like, grab him, like, yeah,
Yeah, man, it's really interesting, and that's dope, man. Because like that's what I like about anime. Like nobody really is going to have the same top 10, like top five or top 10 as you. Like, so,
yeah,
but you might have like a couple that are in common, but like a lot of people just have different tastes in like anime. That's why I said like once you get into it, you start finding out what you like, and you know some people are not into the shonen shit like with all the superpowers and stuff. Some people like the laid back, the dramas, the slice of
hmm,
lives and stuff, and some people might not like that, and they might like mech animes where you got Gundam and other things
Oh
like that.
yeah, yeah. My friend, like, I don't know how many Gundams there are, but he didn't
There's
seen
a
them
shit
all.
ton.
Yeah,
There's a shit
he
ton.
didn't seen them all. He got the mangas or whatever. He got them toys. Like he
I like
Gundam.
Zoids. I like Zoids more.
Is that connected to Gundam or something else?
I have no idea.
Oh shit.
It's very similar, but but I like Zoids. Like I always watch that in the mornings before I went to school and shit.
Oh, nice, nice. Excuse me. I'm trying to think because I don't think I had anything that I watched before I went to school because it like 99% of it was after. You know what I'm saying? Like when I would like
Hmm.
walk home or when I would get picked up or whatever, like it was after school was either it was like stuff like All That, Keenan and Kel, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that, Power Rangers.
Right.
Um, maybe something Ninja Turtles, depending on what was out at that time. But like different things. And then the nighttime was more of like professional wrestling back then, like for sure. Like
Hmm.
especially on the
That's
Mondays and the Thursdays for sure.
that's similar to how it was with me.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
my parents they took me to see a few movies, but not very many. Like, cause I can't like I know like my dad he took me and Tremaine to see the remake of Dawn of the Dead, like the one that was directed by Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
The one with Vin Rames and Mekhi Phifer and shit. Like that one was dope. Like that's a remake that I like. If we were to have a conversation about remakes that I would consider good, like that would be one of them. Like, cause that shit was something else. Like, cause I
Hmm.
remember the original, which I own in my collection. Like, it was about you see him at the mall and stuff like that. And I thought it was a great movie. I'm like, this shit is really good. But then with that one, it was like it did that same thing, but then it expanded upon it to where
Hmm.
when I saw the trailer, I could recognize it as Dawn of the Dead. But then because it's like at that time more current, the zombies more or less look scarier and shit. Like there was a certain intensity that the other one didn't have. Like only like to me the remake complemented the original in the sense that I'm like, oh shit, like okay, so you made the zombies look more terrifying. That's a plus. Second, you have the mall scenario, but it's a different group of people, and it seems like they're not going to necessarily be in the mall the whole movie. And it was like it was different things that from a fan of the original where like it really complemented. So I really appreciated that. It was like the same but not the same. So yeah, like I could watch them back to back and you could have a conversation about the similarities and then how it was different but not different to the point to where it like pissed you off and stuff
Hmm.
because you could show someone the remake and then show them the older one. They may not like the old one no more. They may just roll with the remake, or you could show them the older one, then they watch the remake, they want to stick to the old one, or you could show them the old one and then the remake and they like both of them like me.
It started getting goofy when they had Land of the Dead and they had guns and shit. I was like, all right, guys,
Hey,
all
hey, hey, I fucking love that shit
right.
because like while it was goofy, it was like to me, it still sort of had that terrifying factor because now they can do shit. I'm like, to see that's all you need. Like, you can't. I like it's one thing if you can they're slow and you can get away from them. Like you just get surrounded, you get fucked over. But like it's another thing when you can run into a warehouse perp and then the zombie's like, oh, he's in a car. Hold up, I'll be right back. Do 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 do. Then he just starts pouring the gasoline and he lights it to blow up your car. I'm like, perp, like you're no longer in a position to outsmart them. That's out the
Right.
window. So now not only do you have to escape them, you have to worry about are they going to figure out where you are and get you to come out or go or be able to get you where you are now because they can actually think like certain
Hmm.
traps that you would set up where they would just kind of stumble into and it is what it is like they can now go around and avoid that shit perp like so and then it seemed like not only that they were smart but they were getting smarter so not all humans are smart, perp. So
Right.
you're talking about theoretically that these zombies could get smart enough to where they're smarter than certain humans. So
Yeah, that's an interesting take on.
yeah, so I thought it was like funny, but then it was interesting, like because with a lot of zombie movies, it's like I watch them and I'm cheering. Like that was one of the few
Y-
where I was thinking about the ins
Yeah,
and outs of how advanced these fucking zombies are gonna get in this movie.
right. Imagine like a zombie being as intelligent as a vampire. Like that'd be terrifying.
You know what that's called? That's called I Zombie. Like,
Right.
yeah, you seen that shit, right? Like
I've
those
seen I've seen bits of it, yeah, but
like do you because do you okay, look, this like I'll just run it down real quick, like because you have the shows about this chick, she wants to be a doctor and stuff, and then she gets bitten, she's a zombie, and she ends up working in a mortuary where the bodies come in, so she has a fresh supply of brains all the time in a way that zombies out in the world, they have to be more calculative how they get their brains because they're not trying to
mhm,
get exposed. So you more or less have she works with a detective. For the longest time, he doesn't know she's a zombie. He thinks that she's a psychic because she gets all these visions and stuff, but really it's because she eats the brains of a person. She gets all their personality traits and their skills, and then she also sees the last few things that that person saw, like something can trigger the memory, which
mhm,
that detective would equate to a vision because obviously he don't know that she's a zombie and all that shit. So when a person gets murdered, they usually see stuff before they die, which allows her to help the detective solve the various cases throughout the show. But
mhm,
these zombies, when they turn into zombies, their skin is really pale and their hair is white. They stick out like a motherfucker. Like you
mhm.
would know that there's something wrong with this person, right? So like the ones that want to blend in, which is 99.9% of them, they dye their hair whatever color and they'll like tan or kind of brush their skin to look like a regular person.
Right.
Because Liv, like, she's the only one that, like, well, not the only one, but like, because she's the main character, like, she has the white hair and stuff. And, her city that she lives in at first, they were kind of weirded out by it, but then they just thought, oh, that's just her style. She just likes to dye her hair like that. They had no idea that, and they had no reason to think like, oh, she's a zombie. Like, who the fuck is gonna think that, perp? Like who's gonna think when you see someone that comes to the store like that's a zombie right there? No one's gonna
Right.
think that shit. Like you, at most, they'll just think she's
See,
weird or
see,
something.
now that you explain it, it sounds interesting. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So I
So
might
like, so what they have these things. So like you eat the brains of whoever. Like say I don't know, this dude died for and whatever. Some killed him, and then you eat his brains, and like this dude was a specialist with computers, and he was a pro skater, and this, and that. You now can do all those things for the next. The in terms of the time, the way they explain it is that it kind of lasts like a period of a couple of days, depending. And the only way to get rid of it, if you want to get rid of it faster, say, I don't know, because you could eat the brains of someone and not know, because Liv works in the morgue, she gets a background on the individuals that she's about to eat, which in turn helps her solve the cases. But like, if you're a zombie randomly out in the streets and you just like snatch someone or you just grab a random dead body and eat, you don't
Mhm.
necessarily know what comes along with that person. So you could eat the brains of a crack addict and shit, and you just going around scratching the shit perp. You
That's
like,
funny
man,
as
fuck
fuck.
this brain. Like, and you try to get to the next person. So, they
That's
explore stuff
interesting.
like that. Like it's funny as hell, but like, so they have like the regular zombie mode where you see Liv, the main character with the white hair, she's pale and shit, like, and they more or less will be like, regular humans in the sense of they look like people still. They don't look like Walking Dead zombies. They just look like
Mhm.
people that have really pale skin and they dyed their hair a strange color. Like
Mhm.
so, and they still have their basic same intelligence and personality that they had when they were human. They just now have to eat brains to stay alive, which brings me to my next point. If they go like, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks without getting any brains, they will turn into those Walking Dead kind of zombies where they're like, ooh, like that kind of stuff. So as long as they keep eating brains, they will more or less pass as like as if nothing happened to them. Like you, it'd be like you're talking to me right now, but I'd be dead and be a zombie. It's more the same, but you would get those benefits of getting people's skills and
Yes.
intelligence, and you get to live forever. So yeah,
Yeah, see that sounds interesting. See now how you explained it now, it makes me want to go and kind of peep that out. I'm gonna definitely
yeah.
have to check that out now.
And then aside from like if they don't eat, they turn into like the more the more typical way that people expect zombies, right? So
Hmm.
they also have this in between thing where they got this they call it full on zombie mode, which means that whenever their adrenaline spikes and they get upset, their eyes will turn red and the veins will cover their skin, and they have all this super strength to where they move faster, and they basically can grab any human and rip them apart, like how like like with a bag of chips, how we just kind of pop it open and shit, and
Hmm.
we could tear it apart. That's
That
pretty much what they can do to a human when they're full on zombie mode.
that really sounds like this other anime called Tokyo Ghoul, where like
Mhm.
there's these I haven't watched it, but I've seen like the first episode, but I heard like a lot of good things about that. But that sounds similar to like what they do with Tokyo Ghoul.
That might have been inspired by iZombie because I
Mm,
know I never read those DC comics for iZombie, but they've been around for a cool minute. So like it
yeah.
because I know they have like the Clarita diet, whatever. That's a blatant rip off of iZombie. Like there's other shows that like when you if you watch them before iZombie and you watch iZombie, you'd be like, oh, this copied it. I'm like, no, no, it's really the other way around. But like, um, it's one because like to me, like that full on zombie mode is like where it's at. Because like I just love when they just rip the humans apart. But um, there doesn't seem to be a limit in terms of how long it lasts. With like, I guess as long as their adrenaline is pumping and they're being attacked or they're angry, it could go for like a long time. So like if I'm in
Right.
a room and humans are talking about they're gonna kill me and whatever else, I could be in that full zombie mode until they're all dead, which could be anywhere from 5 minutes to 30 minutes, whatever, whatever. And then after that, the eyes go back to normal and they still look dead-ish. But like that's pretty much the making of what that show is about. And then of course, eventually the humans do find out about the zombies, and then you do get kind of like what
Like
should
a
the
war.
humans sort of like it doesn't like it hasn't yet because it's on the final season. Like
Mm,
it's like it seems to be building up to the humans versus the zombies, but I don't know if they're gonna like show it or if they're gonna defuse it before it gets that extreme because you have humans that find out about it and now zombies are exposed and like they try to figure out like okay how many zombies are there in the world, how many are in each city, and now that they know that they're like the hair like you seen Liv, right, the main chick with the fucking white
yeah.
hair and shit, like
Mm,
now they know when they look like that they're definitely a fucking zombie, so you got humans like attacking them out of fear and shit like that. But then the main problems though are when humans find out that they've decided to blend in. So they more or less will look human in the sense that their skin is not pale and their hair is dyed and shit. And like really the only way that you could find out that they're a zombie is if you try to listen to their heartbeat and it's like stupid slow, like one beat every 2 hours or something like
mm,
that.
that's
Like,
crazy.
but like in passing though, you can't just be like, she's a zombie if she has like the blonde hair, like you would never know that. Um, so there's
Pretty.
that. So that causes the panic, and like kids are like, parents don't want their kids to be at school with zombies, and that stuff happens. And then like,
It's like
um,
some racial shit.
right, right. It's like they're like, what the fuck, like, and then the kids start to panic. They're like, wait, how many of our classmates are zombies? And then you got so many zombies that are scared, and then you got the ones like, come at me. What the fuck you want to do? The eyes turn red, like I will fuck your shit up. Like those are the zombies that are cool. Like I like when you're not afraid of what you are, and you're like, come at me. I will fuck your shit up, or I'm gonna die until that kind of stuff.
That's
Um, th-
interesting. Sounds
there's
really
a
interesting.
there's a place called Fillmore Graves, which is it's basically like the military of zombies, where the zombies can go and get trained to be like the equivalent of human soldiers, but for zombies. So
Interesting.
you have that. So that's more or less their established power. Like that's usually where the beast mode zombies are in that organization. Like they more or less go and make sure that the zombies are in check, and then make sure that the humans aren't doing shit to the zombies. So yeah, they're peaceful in the sense of like trying to keep like shit from turning into a war. Um, at least that's how it turns into. There was another guy running it where he kind of was sort of about that, but he had like some hidden agendas. But like, um, oh, also, if I'm with this chick, right, and she's a zombie,
Hmm.
um, whether I know or not is irrelevant to this point. Like whether I know she's a zombie or not. But like, if I have sex with her, um, like that will turn me into a zombie.
Wow.
And
So
like,
graveyard. That's literally graveyard pussy. Like,
yeah, it's like, but see, here's the thing though. Like
and is that
most humans,
technically? And is that technically like necrophilia in a way?
um, well, kind of. I mean, they're considered undead, so kind
Yeah.
of, but it's like because they're so lively, like a person,
Yeah.
minus the fact that they're a zombie, it's like it's a little bit more complex than that. Because it's like you're not fucking the ones from The Walking Dead. It's like they
Yeah.
still more or
Yeah.
less
Definitely
are the
nasty.
same, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're
Imagine smelling coochie from a Walker from Walking Dead and shit like that.
right,
Shit.
but
Whew.
see, like the zombies and eye zombies, assuming that they're still eating on a regular basis,
Mhm.
like they don't smell bad or anything.
Uh,
They're just undead. Like aside from visually how they look, if they're not dyeing their hair or trying to touch up their skin, like their skin is not decomposing or anything like that. That's only if they don't eat and then they get to that point.
mm.
So if I have sex with like Liv Moore, who's the main zombie of the show, like if I fuck her, then I'm gonna turn into a zombie. And by the way, wearing a condom makes no difference. It goes through the condom and you will
Oh
still be a zombie.
man. Oh man.
Yeah, you see that? Because I had the
I'll be like, damn. I don't know if this is worse than an STD or.
right. Well, I mean, it's like because you don't feel any pain from it. It's just like all of a
Yeah.
sudden like you're a zombie. Like I mean, you'll
That's a
there's a
whole different.
sense. Yeah,
That's a whole
there's a
different.
sensation. Yeah, yeah.
That's a whole different type of burnt. Getting burnt.
Well, I mean, the like sometimes you do have zombies where their agenda is to turn people, and there's either
Hmm.
they can bite you just a little bit, or a little scratch can turn you, or if they fuck you in some kind of way, like. But I mean, the sensation for for the zombies like living stuff, the way that they explained it is that it still feels the same like when they were alive, and like for the person that they're fucking, it still feels the same. Like it doesn't
Man,
feel any like it's not like you're gonna like fuck a zombie like
that
after
is
fucking a live chick and go, wait a minute, you're a zombie. It's like no, it's still gonna feel like the pussy and all that, whatever. Like so it's one of those things because like I had a lot of humans like, well, like I'm telling you, like every single human perp, like they were like, you could just wear a condom, but like there's a scene where they specifically address that. Like I'm not talking about like I'm guessing, like there's a full blown scene where this is the discussion perp. Like no, like the condom makes no difference. You're still gonna be a zombie. Like their shit is too strong. Like that kind of inside contact, you're done after that. Like there's no like I'm gonna wear a condom, the pull out method, none of that shit works. Perp. Like as soon as you stick that shit in, like you're done. Like you're a zombie now.
just to go off. Like I was just looking on Twitter, and I think Geek did a review on all that and shit, and he feels the same way we do based
Yeah, I
off
saw. Yeah, I
what.
saw that shit. Like, cause you guys had watched it. I think a couple weeks before me, cause I had to get around to it.
Mm,
But yeah, like yeah, he definitely feels the same way as us.
that shit funny as hell.
But Perp, would you
But
be mad though? Like if if you bang some chick, but then like you're a zombie now, and then like she didn't tell you, like or
I'll be
something
like,
like.
damn, yo. Why do I got this certain urge to eat flesh and not pussy? Like,
That's pretty. Like they did a great job of like. like because the show like it has funny moments, but it can get serious real quick too. But like moments like that though, they do a good job of making it funny because it's like, how do you present this kind of information? You know what I mean? Like, cause
Right.
like Liv's boyfriend for the longest time, like being a human and shit, like he was like trying to do that with her, and then she was like, I can't because, and then she didn't explain it for a long time, and he's like, am I not good enough or something? And then, eventually when she revealed to him that she's a zombie and shit, like, he was still trying to bang her and stuff because he's like, yeah, love of my life and this and that, and then she was like, but there's like one problem and stuff, and he's like, well, he's like, can you still get pregnant or something? Like, would it be zombie kids and shit?
Like eat that, they'll eat their way out the belly and shit.
Right.
Like,
Like they addressed that. I was like, that's dope that they did that. But like she was like, no, I can't have kids. I'm like the undead. Like I can't give life and stuff. And then he was like, well, he's like, what's the problem? Because like he's like, I can't get you pregnant and you can't get any diseases from me and I can't get them from you. So it should be all game. And then she was like, well, the thing is that if we engage in this activity, then you would be a zombie. And then he was like, hey, no problem. I got a drawer full of condoms. And then she was like, yeah, that won't work.
bro, I swear, if I was a zombie, I'm like, yo, you gonna get this zombie dick, bitch? Like, I'm fucking area.
Hey,
I'm
there
turning all these bitches.
I'm I'm like they didn't show like because I mean they covered it with Liv, so it's not like they show like male zombies like doing that, but obviously they were out there because
Mm,
they're trying to do humans dirty or they're trying to make sure there's enough of them to take on the humans kind of shit if there's a war.
mm,
But one of my favorite characters on that show is this guy named Blaine who's a zombie and he's this huge business guy where he has a whole supply of brains per like
mm.
like
That's
this
good.
dude like in fucking jars and shit like you if you're a zombie perp you can go to him and he's like, hey, you want the fireman brain, the cop brain? I got this martial artist that knows jujitsu brain. I got if you want to be a scientist,
It's just that's crazy.
like they like in the way that they look, they make their brains look good and shit when they're in the refrigerator. And I was like, that shit looks dope. And like the ones that are more I don't know, say if you're trying to be like some Secretary of Washington brain, like obviously those would be more expensive and shit for the zombies to buy
Damn,
and stuff. So like
that's
he's
crazy.
just he's just a dope ass businessman in terms of brains. I was like, yeah,
I'm gonna definitely have to check that out because you know, what I'm saying I'm gonna definitely
because it
because
sound it like don't
yeah,
it sound trippy and shit like when you like
yeah,
hear all this shit like that's not what you tend to get with zombies. Like if I told somebody to watch iZombie, it's a zombie show, I guarantee you that is not what they're expecting at all. Hell no. Like because they're thinking like, how do you make like a show where the main character is a zombie? Wouldn't she like not have any dialogue and stuff or like?
right, right. But yeah, I'm gonna start closing this out because we streaming for like 3 hours. Goddamn, that's
Oh shit,
fast.
yeah. See that
But
that's dope
but we
though. Yeah.
used to that, yo. We used to that. We be like streaming for like 6 hours, then just be talking like in the green room for like another six.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So once you post it, then I'll repost it on mine and then put the link for your channel in in the description on mine, and then you could vice versa for ours. Like, and then
Okay.
they'll complement each other in that way. So
Yeah, I see people already sharing it and stuff like K Dot. He shared it on Twitter and whatnot.
oh yeah,
Uh,
see like so yeah, like I'll for my title on my channel, I'll put like Perp Minded and Terrance, and then I'll put top five Dragon Ball characters, top five animes. Like
hmm
that's how I'll title mine, and then in the link, then I'll or in the
So you gonna download this?
yeah, I'm gonna down like once you post it, then then I'll be able to download it after because
Okay. All right.
I used to do that with I'm not sure if you noticed there's this one chick named Amanda, she's a red hair, and
Mm,
she's from this channel called Crazy Amanda Reacts, and I did like 14 collab vids with her and shit. So like
okay.
for she was the only one that I was like fully collaborating where it was like just me and her going back and forth. Like we had covered the final season of Gotham when that came out,
Mm-hmm.
Then we talked about a few other things like Robert Pattinson when he was rumored as Batman and shit like that. So,
Interesting.
14
I'm gonna check
videos.
it
So
out.
we, yeah, like she's really cool and shit. But like I had to do the same. Like um, when she like posted it, then I was able to download it and then put it on
Okay.
the channel and stuff like that. So
Okay. Yeah, that works. That works. I'm done with that. That's fine.
yeah,
Uh,
so because I like to because I like to share those experiences because I'm like if it's just on your channel then it's like that's cool too, but like
mhm.
if it's on my channel then like they can know like the cool people that I've been talking to too, like
Right,
I'm
right.
like yep
That
I'm
works.
like I'm like I want them to know who Perp is, like if I
Mm.
what I mean, like
Vice versa, because I feel like you have a lot of like knowledge about like a lot of things and shit, and just not just other than just like geek culture shit, like other things
right.
outside of that.
Yeah, like I just, man, you know me, man. I could just go on forever and shit. Like you just lose track of time. You be like, damn, what the
Mm-hmm.
fuck is like 2 days later? Like,
Yeah, and we gonna be on another we gonna be on another stream in like another like 2 hours or some shit. So it's like,
exactly. So it's just like that's why I was telling you, like, cause like I want to like just do it, like make it a regular thing before this shit runs out.
mm,
Cause we can get in a lot of discussions before 2020 comes. Cause we still got July, August, September,
yeah,
October, November. We still got 6 months.
yeah.
So
I'm gonna still look for like the alternative because I'm gonna figure out like if Skype will be an option. There's another one. I downloaded it. I see somebody using it that I follow. It's called was it
yeah, see
Zoom.
that's what I was saying.
Zoom. Zoom.
Like yeah, because I do have a Skype, so like um for the sake of our stuff, the Skype would be good for the two of us, but
Mm.
everybody else would have to figure out how to do that huge
And
group kind of thing. But yeah,
and I was even thinking if I could figure it out, we could probably just if it was just gonna be us two, we could probably do duo if I could figure that out.
right. Yeah, see, like it's easier when it's down to two. It's
Mm.
the Google Hangouts being eliminated is to me a stronger impact on huge groups like what we tend to do with Zod and the
Yeah.
rest of them. So yeah, like you find an alternative and stuff. It seems like you already got one. Like you already got the
Hmm.
Skype and shit. Like if we got to use that, then like um search for something else. But in the meantime though, like I
Yeah.
was
We
saying,
just.
like we can take advantage of this because I'm
Mm.
like, how much how much content like that we could put out in 6 months, like just collabing together and
Right.
like all the shit. Because when we're in a full panel, we're it's so many of us that it's not the same as like right now. Because like with
Yeah.
this, we just had 3 hours of us going back and forth. Like
We
you
don't got
can't,
10 other people on the
yeah,
job.
you can't do that when there's like 10 other people. Like you know what I mean? You have to break up the time in which you talk, and you got to keep it limited because everybody
Hmm.
should be able to talk. So to me,
Yeah.
that's why I pitched it to you. I'm like, hey man, like let's get this shit done. Like,
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah. I'm glad I did this though. It was dope. Different.
oh yeah, me
Se-
too. Because I like reaching out to others because I like because sometimes when you like sit back and wait, like it may not happen because I can't.
Right.
Like I feel like you wanted to do it too, but it's like I can't just like yeah, purple get to me when he does. I'm like, but like
Yeah, yeah, you kind of caught me. I was like, damn, I just woke up, and I was just like, but I was like, yeah, fuck
yeah,
it, I'm not doing anything. I was
yeah,
kind of mad that I overslept and missed Annabelle, so I want to go see that shit in the morning. But
yeah, like that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, cause I'm like you might have wanted to do it, but like if I don't say nothing, then you might have thought like, well, well, Terrence didn't say nothing, so I'm like, well, like I'm gonna throw it out there now, so because
mhm,
then it's not like I can say it ain't my fault, like because. I mean, I can only like push someone so much. I'm like, hey
right,
man, if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. But like, I like that. Like as soon as I said it, like we jumped on it. Like it didn't take like 4 fucking weeks and shit. Like how you
mhm,
normally would get. I'm like, what? Why is it taking so long?
yeah,
Because that's how I think of it. I'm like, if somebody wants to do something, perp, like it ain't gonna take no weeks. Like I'm just telling you now. Like I just I'm like, something's wrong because they unless they say that they've been busy, but I feel like usually that's an excuse.
Hmm.
Because like if I specifically tell the person, because even like with you, I was like, hey man, 30 minutes, an hour, like whatever you want to do, like that's
Yeah.
completely fine. And then here we are 3 hours later. So,
Yeah, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. Be like that. That's dope
so yeah,
though. That's dope.
my timing was random. Like it happened to be perfect, but I was
Hmm.
random in my approach to it because obviously wasn't planned. So that's where the randomness
I
was.
got 14 likes on this video. That's dope.
That's dope as hell. Yep, that's
Yeah.
dope. Yep. Yeah, see, that's good. Yep, like, cause like I like to me, I'm just like this shit is fun. Like I
Hmm.
just and it's nothing like the collaboration because like I enjoyed doing like before I started like really hanging out with you guys. Like the only person that I was collabing with like was Amanda, but
Hmm.
it's been like a month and something because she got real busy and shit. Like because she's part of the press that be going to like the Disney junkets and shit like that.
Oh, dope.
So she gets wrapped up in that. So like, sometimes she'll tell me like before we go on the live stream, she'll tell me stuff, and then while we're on the live stream, she'll keep it limited for the viewers because she's not supposed to talk about stuff. But like we actually became friends and stuff because I'm like, yeah, she's cool. Like let's like we try to make it into a schedule and shit. But like
Mm.
I was surprised I was able to get 14 videos out of her. I thought it was gonna be like five.
Right. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so
That's what's
but
up
then
though.
she happened to get busy, man. But I was like,
Yeah, it's
yep,
always
sometimes,
it's like with collabs, it's got to be about the right timing. Like
yeah,
you should never try to force that shit because it'll come off like kind of weird or awkward.
yeah, yeah, because
But
then your viewers will know too. Like, so I'm like, yep,
like I literally sat there and talked to like almost everybody that we talked to. Like I sat there talked to Zod for like you know for like 2 hours. I talked to PB for like 6 hours
yep,
off air.
yep,
I talked to you
yep.
for like multiple hours and shit. Like what I'm saying. So I pretty much talked to like almost everybody. Like
Shit, even like, cause we had we were on a stream, and then I like for that 6 hours, whatever it was, and we kind of said stuff to each other and stuff, but like it was after when it eventually got to you and me, and then that was an additional like fucking 6 hours and shit. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so if y'all like whoever's still watching the chat, if y'all want some late night entertainment, just go subscribe to General Zod's channel. You know what I'm saying? Cause shit be getting weird. Shit be getting weird.
Yeah, you
Shit be
never
getting
know. You never know what that Kryptonian's gonna address. Like that shit
yeah,
is.
yeah, bro. Like, when I walked into that chat the one time, they're talking about such and such and shit. Like, I think it was Geek Stream, whatever. It's just I didn't know what the hell I was walking into. It's
Yeah,
just crazy. But I love the like saying the people that we connect with and shit. It's dope. It's dope.
yeah, exactly. Because like me, because like I said, like with me, I'm just like, hey man, I'm cool being by myself. But like if I see that there's a green light in another direction, like I'm a jump on that just because like it just don't really happen like that. So
Hmm.
I'm like, yep, nope, no procrastination. Got to make it happen. And then you have those humans on the side, like I'm telling you, perp. They be like, man, but you can't force it on people. I'm like, I didn't force nothing. It's called asking.
Yeah.
Like like a lot of people, like they just try one time and they stop. I'm like, you can't do that. I'm like, what if they didn't
Mm.
read the message, or what if they forgot? Like, you got to do it more than once. Like, you got to be consistent with that shit. Like imagine if an actor did that for like a to try to get a role perk, they just only go one time and they're like, all right, yep, I didn't get it. Like I'm like,
Word.
sometimes
Yo,
you gotta do it multiple times.
who is this new host on Double Dare? She look bad, yo.
Like bad as in like terrible
Good.
or bad as in
Not bad, as
oh
good.
good.
Like she look
Oh,
fine.
okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
She look
No, I'm just
familiar.
asking because like sometimes like with my friend, like he would sound passionate, he'd be like, man, she looked bad. I'm like, oh, she looked good. Huh? You like, hell no, she looked terrible. I'm like, oh. We need to see that. Like, we need to see that line in the movie. So we're like, damn, she looked bad. Like, oh yeah, she looked good, huh? Hell no, she looked terrible.
Yeah,
And the
but
camera shows what she looks like.
yeah, this stream been dope. It's about time to close this down. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to K Dot Revis. You know what I'm saying? DP. I know they probably left like a while ago. Moira. I know they probably left while ago. The Senate. Everybody that tuned in. You know what I'm saying? Slasher was in here. Slasher's funny. He's a good dude, cool dude. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate having you on this on this channel, Terrance. You know,
Oh
you're
yeah,
actually
yeah.
the first.
Slash is cool. Yeah.
It's like the first. I think you're like the first person that's been on my channel. So you know, that's something. You know, something different, something new.
You, you said I'm the first one.
Yeah,
Oh shit. Yeah, but I didn't know that.
yeah. Because I've usually been on other people's channels and stuff, but nobody's ever been on my
Yeah,
channel. I might have to
yeah.
get K Dot on
That's.
this. I might have to get my boy K Dot on his channel since he hit 1K. You know, I've been wanting to chop it up with him for a while.
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. He sounds. He like if you say he's cool, then yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
He's really cool, man. Like
So like,
very smart person, very smart brother, very smart.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, because I mean, it's the same thing with me. Like, I usually go on other streams. Yeah, because I tend not to stream, so I usually just go on others. So and then yeah, if it's like with the panel, like when it's like 10 people,
Hmm.
like then that's something else. But if it's more personal, like what I'm doing with you or like how I was doing with Amanda, then that's when you
Hmm.
know to me those are the more legitimate collabs.
Yeah, I think for my live streams, instead of doing Streamlabs, I might try to do it this way so that I can have like probably like you and somebody and like two other people come on or something like that, or you know, could do
Yeah,
something lit. Cause like I really had no topics for that like one episode. I was just going off the top of the head and shit. So it's like you know that shit's pretty hard
yeah,
to
like
just
I
think of shit off the top of the head.
yeah, it is hard. Like that's why, like when you just man, like I'm telling you, like that shit is like stupid hard. Like when you get to like the thousands and shit, like you're trying to rack your brain with what you can cover. Like yeah,
Uh,
but yeah, it's just as long as you're still passionate and you don't get burned out, you'll be fine.
yeah. Like I haven't gotten that way. It's just like now, like because I know it. Because I kind of found a pattern for myself. It's because like I started with the leftover series. I was like, all right, that's content for at least one video a month, and then I build around that, and then you know so on and so on. You know, and end up working out. And I'm starting to get a groove of what I want to do with certain things. Like certain shows, I won't do full reviews, like episode reviews, because certain shows, like I don't know, don't really like show anything really that's worth like reviewing. So it usually is hard sometimes to be
Right,
like,
right.
you know, I don't really want to talk about this. It's
Yeah,
nothing like
like it.
not.
Like it depends on the show because like
Mm-mm.
I will be quick to be like man I didn't like this one like this shit was
That's why.
terrible or
That's why with certain ones, like if it's a new show and they have all the episodes available, I'll just do like the first episode, first impressions, and then come back to it and just do a whole season review on it or something like that. Usually
right.
it'd be easier. So
Yeah,
I try.
sometimes I'll do that perp, yeah, like
Mm,
full season, or I'll just do every episode. It just depends on the show, but a lot of
yeah,
times I like to do uh each episode, but like because there's so many, sometimes I just don't do every episode, so it just depends. Like,
yeah. You talk about the more important shit. Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna close this out. You wanna plug your channel?
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm Terrance from the Tremaine Terrance channel. Go over to the Tremaine Terrance channel. Perp will he'll have it in the description. You can find it that way, or just type it in. And I like to just talk about whatever pops in my head. Like I like so many things, and I have so many different life experiences and knowledge about different things that when you come over, it just seems so random. Like what the hell is this? But there's always like some kind of passion behind it, or there's a reason why um the video or the videos are there, because from like outside perspective it does seem random, but for me it's not so much random as it's calculated. Like it's there for a particular reason, and you will get patterns, and then you will get something that feels random, but just know that there was a lot of thought that was put into whatever it is that you see. So
Mm.
there's a lot of passion and joy, and just come over and subscribe to join the family, and just know that you will have plenty of stuff to watch.
Yep, yep. And this is Perp. It's been a dope stream with my boy Terrance. First
Yep,
time ever on this channel, making history. You know,
yep,
uh, really cool. It's a conversation. And shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying, that threw a like on this video. People that hanged out in the chat. Shout out to K. Dot Revis. Set the Senate, Moira, DP, Slasher, Tia. Shout out to all y'all for, what I'm saying, tuning in, showing that love. And I will have my Annabelle review coming up tomorrow. I was supposed to have it tonight, but, technical difficulties with myself. um, but, till the next time, I'm gonna have to check y'all out later. Peace.
later.